Welcome everyone to live stream reviews. This is the third episode that we're doing, and I'm excited about this show. I mean, we keep building on these each and every week. The first time we did this, we talked about, let's see, what did we talk about? We talked about like different ways that you can improve your live show. We had a couple of people come on. We had a couple of people in the second episode. We had people bring their real life examples. So what kind of live show they are running. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. My name is Christian Karasevich. I'm the content marketing manager at StreamYard. And, this show, it's all about you. So if you have a live stream challenge, you're like, hey, I don't get a lot of engagement on my live show. How do I monetize my live show? Things like that. Any of that sort of thing. What we want to do is we want to invite you to join us. Actually, we want to invite you to join us on screen. Actually, so and that's the goal there. Is so you can come on, you can tell us who you are, what your business is about. If you have a live show, what your live show is about, and then if you have a specific question or a challenge, we want to know about that. So hopefully, by the way, hopefully my video and my audio are good now. I've made quite a few upgrades actually over the last week. I now don't have a webcam. I'm using a mirrorless DSLR camera here. And obviously I've got my standard mic running through a mixer, but I want to thank you all for joining us. I'm going to go and bring on my guest, Letitia Campbell, or my co-host, because she's been co-hosting with me. Actually, we met her the first week of the show. And so now she's co-hosting with me, and this is the third episode, as I mentioned. So big shout out to Letitia. Letitia, great having you join us again. Episode 3.
Yes, we made it.
And I know like last week we talked about, I think we were talking about audio, right?
Yes,
we were talking about like headphones and things like that. Have you made any improvements to your show over the last week?
I sure have. So if you guys noticed from recent episodes, my sound now today is so much better. I was testing out for a couple of days before this show, and even my audience is saying, wow, you sound so much more clearer. And you guys know I have 5 kids, so I totally eliminate. You're going to still hear some of them in the background every now and again, but it's gotten better. And another issue we're having, I forgot the gentleman who mentioned it, I think his name was Jim, about I live in New York City. So, I'm right next to the train and in the parkway and stuff. So you guys don't hear any truck noise, the truck that just passed by. I don't think y'all heard that. So that's good. All I did was just change my USB cable. I went to the guitar store and I actually spoke to someone, and it's, I'm a huge Amazon girl, but I feel like sometimes we do need to step outside our house and actually go to different stores to ask questions, these associates questions. Yeah. So they actually helped me so much. And for me to prepare for other equipment that I'm going to purchase for my shows as well. So I changed my USB. I got headphones. These are cord headphones. I'm going to go back and get the wireless ones because I realized this is a little bit too short for me. But I like it. What do you think? How do you think I sound, Christian?
I think it sounds great, actually. And, here's the thing. I like the fact that you highlighted, you can go on Amazon, you can just search for something, you can buy it. But people need to know what kind of equipment that they have.
Yes.
And what you're getting. For example, I know Neil Perek here. I mean, he and I, we talk quite a bit. And what's really interesting, is that you can buy all this equipment, but you want to make sure you get the equipment that works for you. It's not just about, it's not about so for example, it's not about going and saying, oh, well, hey, this person is recommending, this marketing person, or this influencer person, they're recommending that I actually go and buy this mic. A lot of times those people they don't even use the equipment, or they use the equipment, but they have someone else that does all of their work.
Exactly. They have a production person. Yeah.
And so they're recommending something, but they're not actually a product of the product, as they like to say. So, just keep in mind with that. Speaking of the headphones, by the way, so one thing I have the in-ear headphones as well. These are wired. And one thing, for example, I need to upgrade, and this is an easy upgrade. This is one of those things where, hey, don't put it off. For example, this is a wired set as well, and mine's not long enough. So if I got up, for example, I'm going to yank myself.
Yeah.
And so what I have to do is I just need to get an extension, and that's an easy fix. It's like, hey, I go to the local store, or I hit up an Amazon, and I'll have my cable next week, and then I can actually move around. I don't feel like I want to move this way or that way. So
And
it makes you,
sometimes if you speak to the associate and you explain to them about what you have going on, they will say, hey, if it don't work, bring it back. You know what I'm saying? So you
yeah,
can, try things out, bring it back, do an exchange sometimes. And sometimes if you get something wrong on Amazon, not saying anything bad about, I shop on
right.
Amazon all the
Of
time, so I
course,
don't
of
want to
course.
say bad about the company, but it takes days for, sometimes it's not worth it returning things sometimes because you could be paying for
Right.
the shipping or whatever. Yeah.
So just a couple of quick things. I mean, very, very simple rules. If you have a question, put #ask in your comment.
Yes.
We'll do our best to go and address those. And then for those of you who actually want to join the show, here's what I'm gonna do.
Yes.
I'm gonna put the link in here, and this is gonna bring you backstage. And so, my one ask is put your webcam on, and then also when you come on, who are you? What company are you with? Or what's your company, what's your live show about? If you don't have a show yet, but hey, you're looking to try to make one, tell us that as
Mm-hmm.
well. And then what's your actual issue or your question? So what I
Mm-hmm.
want to do is I'm gonna run through a couple of these questions here real quick while we wait for people to populate. And again, I mean, this is all about you. So
Yes.
bring your questions. If you're like, hey, I have monetization questions, I have engagement questions, I have questions about like how do I set up a run of show, all that
Mm-hmm.
sort of stuff. Definitely let us know. By the way, I heard that heard the car horn there. That was so that's the thing. I mean, that adds to potentially someone's show. So if somebody, for
Yes.
example, is in New York, hey, they get free background, sounds. So um, okay.
Yes.
So let me roll through a couple of these. So let's see, what do we have here? Um, so Nicholas says, hey, I appreciate your involvement with the StreamYard community and your generosity and the sharing of your expertise. I'm happy to. I love what I do, and I love the company that I work for. So definitely, I'm always happy to have a chat with you, or if you need to get on a call or something, I'm happy to do that as well. As
Mm-hmm.
most of the people that know me will attest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what else? What questions do we have in here? Let's see. So we've got somebody tuning in from Finland, the UK. Fantastic.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
gave you guys so Anna Maria, very simple. I dropped the link in the chat, so just click on that link. It'll bring you into the backstage area. Very simple. And then we'll bring you on. Let's see. What else do we have here? So there's someone from Canada. So SS06DD. I dropped the link in there as well. Just click on that link. It'll bring you backstage. Let's
Come
see.
on in.
Let's see. A couple of questions here, actually. Okay, so someone says, "Hey, I've had issues with AirPods." I actually, and they said it was with StreamYard, but I actually don't think the issue is actually a StreamYard issue. I think AirPods, while they're great for headphones for like working out, and just wearing around, they're not actually. You really shouldn't use AirPods for like streaming. Um, Bluetooth can have connectivity issues. So you might notice that in the middle, they might just all of a sudden drop the signal, and that's not a StreamYard issue. That's a connectivity issue with the AirPod. I can tell you I have that same issue as well, even if it's just connecting to my car and so forth. That's something that does happen. Um, so just keep that in mind. And by the way, if you do have support related questions, just a quick plug here. So we have
Mm-hmm.
streamer.com/contact. And,
Mm-hmm.
and that will actually go to our support team. So if you have a technical issue, or like, and I mean a technical issue, like, oh, hey, something isn't working in your StreamYard product, feel free to reach out to them. Okay, so what other questions are you seeing there, Letitia?
Let me go and scan through.
Someone says, hey, let's see. So let me find this. We were feedback with wireless. Yeah, you do. You can get feedback when you're using wireless.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'll say this: when you, so I used to do live in-person productions and remote productions, and the way that we always worked for a live production, everything was hardwired. We didn't have the presenter wearing, and there's two different things you kind of have to look at here. So when we say wireless, we don't mean Bluetooth. Bluetooth it's wireless, but it's a different type of connectivity than an actual wireless microphone. And so what I want to get there, by the way, with that point, is so by the way, Animal, I'm not sure what your real name is, but we'll bring you here in a second. So when you're connecting, for example, so what we would do at a live production is everything was typically hardware. So you'd always have a rehearsal before your production. So you don't just
Yes.
set the equipment up and start. And that's a big problem. That's the thing that a lot of people who are doing streaming do. They just set it up and expect it to like, oh, well, hey, it worked last show. You should always test your equipment, regardless of the fact that it worked the last time. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so, and that means like, okay, hey, you know what? Maybe because maybe the cable got frayed, for example, or something happened, with that since you last used it. So you should always test and do a rehearsal before you actually do the live show. And a lot of times people do it, they might do it the day before, depending on the size of the production. If it's, say we're just going to bring someone on, for example, Letitia and I might meet like 30 minutes ahead of time and make sure her audio is good, make sure I can hear her, make sure she's not getting any echo, um, make sure her video is good, and all that fun stuff. So as far as, and then the other reason a lot of times people use the hardwired side of things is they remove all those items out of the vicinity. So for
Mm-hmm.
example, talking about feedback, mobile devices, you'll hear like feedback or a hum on the line, and that'll often happen because of like just because you have a mobile device near a cable. And so you typically want to take your mobile devices and put them somewhere else, or put them in airplane mode so they won't pull in, so they won't pull any issue, so they won't have any feedback. Or if there is feedback, you can kind of at least reduce it. So just keep that in mind. And as far as microphones, what we typically would do is we would use a wireless microphone. A wireless microphone has a transmitter though. So it's like a belt clip. It clips on like, inside of a jacket pocket, on the back of your pants. And then you have a microphone, for example, that might come down your ear. Or you might have one that goes behind your head, for example,
Mm-hmm.
that's invisible. So that's typically the best kind of microphone to use, not a Bluetooth headset. So that's something to recommend. Okay, so let me roll through some of these questions as well. And I see we got a couple people looking to join. Can you record an interview on Monday and play back on Thursday? Okay, so so Joe, we don't actually have we don't support that feature.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do it two ways. You can live stream in your StreamYard dashboard. So you click on create broadcast and you add your social destinations. Now, if you want to just record, you can say skip and use the record feature, and that will store it there in your StreamYard dashboard. You can then download it, but you would have to then upload it to wherever you want to go. So, for example, if it's like out to Facebook, you can use what's called a Facebook Premiere, and I actually have written an article on this because it's a feature that can be very useful. You can use a Facebook Premiere.
Yeah, those are cool.
That basically premieres your live video as like it's a pre-recorded video premiered as a live. So I'll put that in the chat here. So
Yeah.
what other questions are you seeing here, by the way?
From Nazar, he asked Atisha, what light are you using? Your lighting looks nice and balanced.
Okay.
I'm just using a standard ring light. I think I paid like $149 for it on Amazon.
Okay.
But it's very important that depending on your skin tone, you want to get the right acrylic. You could get acrylic paneling for it, or just like the shading, the cloth shading.
Yeah.
So if you are a woman of color like myself and you may have a
Mhm.
more orangey hue, you will get like the orange shade around it. If you have more of a green pigmentation, you would get like the green shading around it. So please keep in mind that you want to get the ring light, but also get whatever shading or covering you need over it to balance out the light. So in the beginning, when I first got it, I was like, bam, it was like, people was like, oh, you look too bright or too
Mhm.
ashy, so that does help. So, and the shading are like $6-7, I think. It's not that expensive.
Very
Mhm.
cool. Yeah, so that's good information. And there's another question here from Rashay. Rashay is asking, is it possible to run a Mevo camera? So I think you're talking about this camera. This is a Mevo.
Hold on, it's coming.
So let me see if it gets. Hopefully, this focuses pretty quickly. Yeah, it's a little reflective, but this is the Mevo camera. This is so this can be run, but it needs to be run through, I believe, RTMP. I haven't opened this as you can see yet, but RTMP would actually help you connect that,
Mm.
because it's like this is actually primarily. I mean, it's an okay camera. It's not great. It's primarily just for mobile, but so I'm going to be testing this out hopefully soon, but definitely, you could run it, but I know it has an RTMP setting, so you'd want to use that. Okay.
Great question. Great question.
What else?
Someone
Okay.
asked, why did I change my USB
Yes.
cord?
Yep.
I changed it because it sounded like I was in a basement when I first started to use it. It was just not the right cord for my laptop. And this is why it's important for you guys to actually walk into like a guitar store or some
Yeah.
type of store that sells equipment. So I told him exactly which laptop I had, which is an HP. And he suggested this cord was only $16 with tax and everything. The only thing is that I have to keep in mind that it does slide out a little bit from the mic to this. So I might have to put some tape around it. But yeah, that's why, because it's just the sound wasn't, if you watch my old shows, you would hear that it was like a echo, or it just sounded like I was in a basement. It just didn't sound good.
So I have a couple of things about USB cables, or let's just talk equipment in general.
Yeah.
Anytime you have any sort of equipment issue, and this is, I think I might have even said this last week. I can't remember if it was last week or if it was on the show we did this week, the countdown timer episode. But anytime you have an equipment issue, the first thing you should always check, don't worry about replacing the equipment, replace the cable. That's the easiest fix. Like, for example,
and the cheapest.
I need a USB cable. Get another USB cable. Chances are you probably already have 100 of them sitting in a box. So yeah, no, seriously, that's
yeah, you're right. That's why I'm laughing. You're right.
To fix your equipment. So is just replace the cable. And then sometimes if it's plugging in, for example, into a laptop, let's say it's not recognizing the microphone, or it worked and now it's not working, restart the computer. A lot of times there may be things that you're like, hey, why is this not working? And it's just something to do with restarting it. So very good question. Okay, let me see what else we got here. And hopefully by the animal, hopefully you'll come back and join, please. Joe, as far as a time limit for these interviews, no, just come on. I mean, just
come on.
Come on, and then we're happy to just chat with you. And sorry, by the way, we also try to balance the questions. So if there's a ton of questions, we have a mix of doing that and bringing you on. So you can join here. So here's the link, everyone. Okay,
come on in.
Let's see. Let me see. Okay, so I got a couple other questions. Okay, so let me go back through these. Wow, lots of questions. Okay, let me see. And if I miss your question, just let me know. Okay, so if I'm putting a link in your comment area, can bad. Yeah. So yeah. Yep. No, absolutely. I do agree with you, Michael, on this. The only challenge we've had is just figuring out like what the best way to do that is, because again, if you're simulcasting to multiple channels, you need to have a way to get those people on. Before it was sending them to Facebook. Well, if somebody doesn't have Facebook, how do I get them on? So that's the reason why I just decided to test it out and see if it works. By the way, welcome Dennis from Boise, Idaho, and Jeremy from the Philippines.
Welcome.
Okay, so Sarah, you've got a question here. So let's talk backgrounds. So she says, I've been having an issue with pixelation of my background. So I don't know if you want to join us backstage. That would be great. We can bring you on. Oh, good. We got a couple of people joining. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pause here at Sarah, and we're going to bring on Bran. So let's see what Bran has to say. Bran, how you doing?
Hey, guys. Quick question for you. I'm new.
Yes, okay.
And I'm trying to do some sort of like an hour-long program, bringing in guests throughout the show, kind of like what you're doing right now.
Okay.
And I would love for my producer to be able to communicate with the guests, let them know when they're going live, pushing them and whatnot. Is there a way to do that backstage or green room or something like that within StreamYard instead of communicating via text or something like that?
So there is a private chat function. So there's in your StreamYard dashboard here, I'll share my screen here. Let's see. And by the way, welcome to StreamYard. So
hey, thanks.
Okay, so this is the backstage area. As you can see, we've got a couple people waiting here. It looks a little busy. The thing we're going to focus though on is this panel on the right. So if I go into private chat here, this is how this is just for me to be able to communicate with everyone that's here. So for example, the only people that would see this would be Letitia. For example, here, I'll put a test message. So like I'll put that in there. And so that would show up to you. You should see that in the dashboard as well. DJ here should see that as well. So that's the best way to communicate with that person without having to go the text message route.
Got it. So anybody who's waiting will be able to see that.
Yes.
Got it. And is there any way backstage for us to know how the microphone level of the guest is going to be before pushing them live? Is there any way to test that, or is it just on their end? Like I had to do a test before I set enter.
I always try to do it before. I always try to bring them on beforehand and see what it's going to be like. I mean, like for example, now I didn't know what I was going to get when I brought you on, whether the audio is going to be good, the video, and so forth. So the key thing is just know if your equipment and your co-host, for example, if your equipment's good, fantastic, and then just know like you've got. So for example, I can't edit your mic settings. Let me see if I can edit his. Yeah. So for example, for DJ, I can go and edit their mic settings. So I can turn off echo cancellation. I can also then choose if I want to adjust their volume, just raise or lower the volume.
Got it. And that automatic mic adjust, does it kind of make everything level, like automatically as best it can?
Yeah, so it's something we run behind the scenes. Yeah.
Got it. Cool. All right, this was helpful.
Awesome. And another little tip for you, by the way. So I know you've got your phone in portrait mode. If you actually rotate it, it will fill in the black spaces. So to fill in all the extra space. So
wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Anytime. And don't forget, by the way, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, we do have a Facebook group available as well. So we've got a lot of activity there. I'm going to put that up here and just on screen. It's facebook.com/groups/StreamYard community. Just go there, request to join. We'd love to have you all. So
perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bren. Very cool. Okay. So
that was
next?
A good question. That was a really good question. I'm glad he asked that.
Okay, so let's go ahead and bring on DJ here. Okay, DJ, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I have just a quick question because I used to use OBS before, so I can plus a little screen and over the video, but. My question is, can StreamYard do that one? That I can plus a little video here in the side? No picture yet.
So let's see. So one thing you can do is, so it depends on how you're going to play that video. So like if that video is on, let's say the video is on like a Google Chrome tab or something like that. That's where I would use the share screen feature.
Yeah. I use that one all the time, but I want this as a little video that I would not. Because if you share a screen and then some part it will reduce the size, especially your guests. So the reason why I asked, because I want to see it as just a little like that. It will reduce. So if you will share a screen, it will reduce. So the question is StreamYard can do something that put a little video just pop up. Not a share screen.
Natively, we don't have a feature to be able to do video like that, but you could bring it in via OBS. So you'd use that as a virtual camera. So you can do it over in OBS and then you bring it in, for example, as a camera. Like I'll show you something real quick. So this is something I'm doing. So Letitia, you and I talked about this earlier. So one thing I'm using is the ATEM Mini right now as a switcher. And so what I can do here, and let me actually pull this up. So for example, I can do something like this. So now I'm actually sharing my iPad screen.
Yeah.
And then on top of this, I have the ability to do something like this. Because I have my camera and the iPad plugged in, I now have picture in picture. So theoretically, if I wanted to actually show a video, all I have to do is bring up that video on the iPad. And then it should be able to play, for example, on the iPad screen during my broadcast. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Wow.
So that's actually something I'm using. I just started using it this week.
Wow.
It's also
nice.
pretty neat because you can incorporate some cool stuff. Like I'll show you this. So like, let's say I'm doing this and I want to like draw on the screen here. So now here's what's cool about this. So like I'm using a tool called Sketch to do like, it's more for like screenshots and drawing and like that. But I'm physically drawing on my iPad screen while we're actually talking. So I can point certain things out, and whatnot. Like this is just a screenshot, but as you can see here, I mean, I can just do all of this stuff basically in real time. So pretty cool.
That's cool. Okay. And thank you so much for that.
You're very welcome. No, I appreciate you coming on to ask your question. I mean, so I really appreciate it. So thank you.
Because I'm using StreamYard on my broadcast every day. So
Christian is just showing you now.
Do what?
It's only showing you on the screen now.
Oh, yes. No, thank you. No,
he kicked us off.
Like, no, seriously, I have a monitor over here showing me like everything, and then I had everyone over here, and I was looking at it. So
yes.
One last question, Christian.
Yeah.
Do StreamYard have a shortcut key for, let's see, rather than using the mouse, I can assign a key in the keyboard that I will touch this one? No.
So we get this request a lot. People are asking for Stream Deck support. It is something that's on our roadmap that we are working on. I know there's some workarounds to be able to use keyboard shortcuts.
Yeah.
You can use them, but just keep in mind that like when you put there are some that like when you put the work into it, like it's a little bit of work to set up, but then you have to remember that as things kind of change, like if we update the software, it might break your keyboard shortcuts. So there are some development options out there that you can pick from.
Okay. That's all. Thank you so much, Christian and Leticia.
You're
Have a nice weekend.
You too.
Okay, let's see. So we had another person. They did drop. Let's see what else we got here. So, okay. So here's a question. Okay, so this is from Naja. By the way, if you do want to join, very simple. It's a quick thing. Like, just join the backstage link. Drop that here in the comments as well. You can just join us here. But don't be afraid to come on and ask your question. I mean, it's very simple. And we want to help you. So that's our goal. It's not just us talking at you. We want to actually help you. So feel free to join. So Naja Watch has a question. How come when she goes live on StreamYard with YouTube, her monetization is not automatically turned on? That's partly because YouTube doesn't turn that on. So it needs to be on the YouTube side. So what you have to do, and this is actually a good thing, by the way, because here's what's going to happen. So when you are in StreamYard and you create a new broadcast and you select a YouTube channel, you put in the title, you put in the description, and you put in the type of broadcast, whether it's public, private, unlisted, your thumbnail, and then you schedule it out. So that's the first step. Now, the one thing, though, you want to make sure you always do, you can optimize YouTube live videos for search. So, you can go over there, you can add hashtags. So YouTube supports hashtags now as well. So you can go and you should do this after you've scheduled your video in your StreamYard dashboard, go over to your YouTube channel and then optimize your video for whatever the topic is for. So for example, if I just did one for my own show this week, my show called Social Chatter, and I optimized it because we were talking about like YouTube hashtag showcase pages. So we are optimized it for YouTube hashtags. So we then did that. And then the benefit there is so that now your video has a chance to rank. It's not just about going live on YouTube and expecting people to tune in. You have to do the other steps to help it be successful. And those steps are going to be YouTube optimization. If it, for example, is a YouTube live.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
And I really enjoyed the show you did this week about the hashtags and how when we put hashtags in the description, YouTube would show the first 3 hashtags. So I started to even hashtag my business name and have that be the first hashtag that shows up. So I did notice that I was showing up at the top of the search engine now because I was using relevant hashtags. So, yep. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's something to go check out. I mean, so regarding your monetization question, so this is what I would do: schedule your broadcast in StreamYard, put all the relevant information, go over to your YouTube channel once it's live. In the top right-hand corner, you're going to see an option to select your avatar. You click on that, it'll have an option to say YouTube Studio, and from there you can see all your videos that you've done. At that point, you can turn on monetization. So your videos will be listed, by the way, under the live tab and not under just the videos. So it'll be under live. You click on that, you click on the edit button, and then you'll be able to go in and decide whether you want to turn optimization on or off. And you can do all the SEO optimization in there as well. You can add it to a playlist. I'd also recommend having a playlist on your shelf. So definitely check that out. What other questions do we have here?
And I even created a playlist for this show on my channel. So now when people go to playlists, I just did it last night. I was like, oh, this is cool. They, my followers are going to be able to see that, they could tune in on this show as well. So Being creative.
By the way, so I'll put it in as a feature request. I'll see if we can actually get, like, I don't know if YouTube gives us access to turn on. That's another thing. If YouTube's API doesn't give you access to turn on monetization, then you're forced to have to use the platform. So I don't know if that's the case, but I can submit it as a feature request. No big deal. Happy to do that. Cool. We got some people ready to join. Okay. So let's go ahead and bring on Brandon Jackson. Brandon, how you doing? Can't hear you.
Yeah, platform. No good to use.
What's the question?
I really like using the platform with the
Yeah.
green screen. It's no good to use. And when the chat is delayed for me when I use it normally, it doesn't show up hidden. You know, like when you get hidden comments in the YouTube chat, it doesn't show up in the chat. And when a message gets deleted, it stays up in the chat on here.
Yeah.
And it's easy for me because I have often, I don't know if it's the comment or not.
Okay, so I think you're asking. Okay, so your volume is really low. By the way, I bumped up to about like 175. But I think you're asking about comments that get hidden on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I know YouTube they have some sort of moderation on there. So you can have moderation on your channel. So you can automatically. So this is actually a cool feature. And if you don't do this, I'd recommend everyone do it. So let's just say you don't want people, like you have options. So like when somebody leaves a comment on your YouTube channel, you can have the comments automatically hidden or held for moderation. So that's the first thing. And then the second, and that's in your settings. So if you go to YouTube, go to your YouTube channel on the top right, click on YouTube Studio. And then I think on the left, you'll have a settings option and you can actually customize the comments there, like what actually can and can't show. Now, one thing you can do there is you can put in blocked keywords. You can put in, for example, if you don't want people to be able to post links, you can put in http://http://s. You know, if you don't want people to be able to put links, you can block that as well. So that's part of that. And then as far as like the comments that get hidden, some of that also comes into play by the algorithm. So, you know, YouTube also does some processing on the accounts.
Yeah,
so if they recognize, well, hey, there's
things that you can't really say now with copper on, not copper, what's the word I'm looking for? The YouTube page at the moment, where comment, when you subscribe to someone, it's a new policy with YouTube. It's called fake policy wise. Can't remember exactly from the headlines. But for example, if you subscribe to someone such as Mr. Beast, for example, and if you don't watch their content from that channel for the next 24 hours, it counts as not a genuine subscriber. Such as if you watch a video, then just immediately put in the comments, I just liked, or I like your video, it's good. It's got to be a genuine comment related to what you have just watched.
No, that's good to know. I mean, about being a subscriber on a channel. Basically, I mean, it's a smart way for YouTube to help you. For example, you know, if you're not like, if you're subscribing to something, but you're not actually watching it, then like the number really doesn't matter. You know, you want to make sure you want people that obviously are going to be engaged and are continuing to watch your videos. So it means you got to make better, you know, it's going to be hard. It gets harder to get in front of people, but it just means you have to have really good content. So do you have any other questions?
When are you gonna make an app for the mobile?
I actually am not entirely sure on that one. I know that it's on our roadmap. You know, of like roadmap. It's on our feature request. I mean, we get people asking, you know, the one thing is we're cloud-based. So
I'm guessing you were getting that question 1,000 times.
Yeah, we do get quite a few questions. I mean, the one thing I would say is, and by the way, everybody who's hanging out, waiting here, thanks for being patient. I'll bring you all in here in a few minutes. So I can put it as a feature request. I mean, we're cloud-based. So the benefit to being cloud-based is is because, well, that means that like when you go onto like a device, you don't have to rely on the device. We're doing most of that for you. You know, and that's the other thing. I mean, people come in and they have like, you know, they have an integrated graphics card.
Well, last night when I did a stream, when my iPad died, it still streamed for a little minute. So like you could have something that automatically switches it to sorry screen kind of thing. You know, if you have an image and doesn't give you a chance to press that image. You know,
like so what I could do.
Sorry, my stream has finished, or something like that.
Yeah. So what I could do is I can take it down as a feature request. You know, and we can see what, you know, if you have specific details, you're welcome to just reach out to me on any of the social channels, or the StreamYard channels, and I'm happy to take that down and put it and submit it. So awesome. Any other questions? I got a big long list of people here actually waiting to get in. So I'm not looking to.
You know, one thing everybody likes to call, you know, the bar with all the people, they love to call it the basement.
Yeah.
I like it. It's like, you know, because you're below on the screen on the bar, but you know, it's like a waiting room kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, could have a feature where people are all there talking to each other, but the audience can't hear you. You know, while you're waiting, you can just talk to one of the other.
Yeah, there is a private chat feature. We showed that a few minutes ago where, if, like, for example, I can talk to everyone backstage by going to the private chat, and anyone who's in the backstage area can have that chat with us or can see it. So, but yeah, if you have any feature requests, I mean, submit them to us. Also, streamyard.com /
by like, not like on the live stream like this, but like a separate one that doesn't seem by what platform you're streaming from. So you could be all on the screen talking to each other.
Yeah.
You know, you are still in control of that, you know. Put them into the waiting room or just leave them in the basement.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, what we'll do is I can put it in as a feature request. Like I said, just go to streamyard.com/contact and information as you have on the feature, and then we can work to see if it's something that fits in the product. So awesome. Well, thanks for popping in. I really appreciate it, and keep watching. And yeah, we'll do these. We do these every week. So if you have questions or anything else you come up with, just let us know.
I will try my best to tune into them.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandon.
I don't mind watching in the basement. You know, because YouTube's delayed from chat-wise.
Yeah, it can be a little bit. Yeah, so. But again,
it's a real-time watching.
Yeah, but awesome. No, but thanks for joining us. So I'm
Thank
bring
you.
On who's next? Chris
on
Eric. Chris, how you doing? You got
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for doing this. This is a tremendous thing to help out a lot of people, including myself.
Awesome.
So what's your name? Well, obviously we know your name's Chris.
Yeah.
What do you do? And then what question do you have?
Well, I run a channel that does a lot of interviews with you know, it varies from celebrities to you know, athletes and things like that. I talk about guy related issues and things like that. The big thing, my first question is that I do a lot. Obviously, my big thing is live streams. I do a lot of calls, callers, things like that, and I really want to know, what is your opinion on the best way to leverage the shows that I record? And they kind of expand out sometimes to like an hour and a half. In your opinion, would you keep it to like 30 minutes, like trim it down to help out, you know, in terms of, you know, watch rate and things like that? Or it just should be something that it exists on its own when you do that kind of content?
So, I mean, I think once you're done with the live stream, you should always try and repurpose your content. A lot of people, they just move on from it. So they do it once and they're like, okay, now I'm on to the next episode. And so repurposing can come in many different forms. It could be a blog post, for example. So remember, you don't just want to be everywhere, but you want to also control the spaces. So like if you're not writing blog posts, for example, that also have your video embedded in it, then someone else could be searching and somebody else could be ranking for the keywords that your show ranks for, or that your show could rank for. So, you want to come up high in search. So you want to be, at the top of search. So maybe create some long form content out of that has the video. Because if people are, for example, are watching the embedded video, that also is a way for you to get your email list like moving. So people might not always be tuning in or seeing your social content. So if that's the case, maybe you want to have them join an email list and then reach out to those people that way. And then that can help drive larger numbers for your live streams. Letitia, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of questions in the chat about how long, and also how long we should go live, and also to your question, Chris, as well. You got to think of where else you want to position your content. So for my shows, I keep it to 60 minutes at least. I try not to go over that because I want to take that show down from StreamYard, because StreamYard records our shows for us and upload it onto Instagram. Because every event I go to, every time I'm on a virtual summit, people ask, where can I find you on Instagram? So that's why I always add my @ link all the time. So that way I can actually put my content over onto Instagram, because you can't upload a video that's over 60 minutes on Instagram sometimes. So you got to think like big picture, like where else do you want your content on? So if it's like an interview show like this, I just let it go. If it's 3 hours, 4 hours, it just rides on. But if it's like a specific type of topic based show, I do try to keep it within an hour. So that way I can have my team pull it down and put it into other places that, I want my audience to see me on.
That's terrific. And could you just touch again on the hashtag? Where would someone put those hashtags in the description of the live stream? Is it in the description or somewhere else?
Oh, it's a very good question. Actually, let me do that. Let me see if I can bring this up as I talk about this. So
yeah, that's a great question.
So actually, I actually wrote an article on this week. But basically, the descriptions will go in the actual video description. So let me pull this up for you, and I'll show you this. Let's see. Okay. So there's a couple of things, and this, by the way, is something, and this is not just like YouTube channels. This is also something that you should be doing for every single live stream that you're doing. There's no audio. There's gonna be no audio on this, but this, for example, is a video. And so what I want to show you, so you see the hashtags here at the top. Okay. So this is where the hashtags are going to show up. And then the other things, so what YouTube does is they go through the content and they pick out the first 3 that you've got there, for example. And so if you use something more than once and so forth, so they're gonna basically pick out what's there. So you want to put them in the description of your video. Does that make sense, Chris?
Great.
So
perfect.
So if I put, for example, if I put more than one, so like I'll walk through this. So I have a social chatter one. I also have social media marketing talk show, Raymond Ray, and I also happen to have put the social chatter one there again twice. There's no point in that. So I should remove this, for example. And the good thing is YouTube picked up. They're like, hey, there's more than one. So that's the first thing I would do. And then the other thing you should be doing with your videos. And this requires going back a little bit through the content. But if you have certain points during the videos and you want to create chapter markers, you can do that just by adding timestamps. So for example, this one, because I typed out 02:35, when somebody clicks on this, it actually will go to that point in the video.
That's a great point.
Right.
And then there's another really cool feature to this. So you want to get this video to rank. Here's how it's going to rank. It's going to rank for the video. Okay. So let's say this is a YouTube, because this was a YouTube live. So it's going to rank for the video on YouTube. However, YouTube is also now Google is crawling all of your videos. So when they crawl your videos, here's the reason why, for example, I put, hey, what are YouTube hashtag showcase pages? The reason I did that was because YouTube is crawling your video and looking for these chapter markers. And then when someone's searching for it, they're not sending them to the article. They're not sending them to somebody for the hour-long video to watch. They're sending them to just the point in your video.
Yes, that's cool.
So definitely something worth checking out. And the other little quick way you can get to this, by the way, is if this is the way the new feature works. But if you actually go to your browser, so I'll show you guys this. So if you put in youtube.com/hashtag / whatever your hashtag is, you now have this showcase page. And it shows you how many videos you've got. It shows you how many channels, for example, that are using that hashtag. And then for those of you who want to improve your thumbnails for your live videos, by the way, you can now see, hey, what kind of thumbnails are people using? Obviously, these are my own. But you can see, for example, the ones that people are using. So this is not just a YouTube tip. It's something that you can apply to your live streams.
That's right.
It's great.
That's right.
Does that help?
Terrific. Thank you so much. Thank you for that.
Awesome. So I'm going to move. If you don't have any other questions, I'm going to move on to next person if that works. Awesome.
Yeah, guys, and please come on the screen on the show with us to ask your questions, so we can get an idea of what you do. You know, I see a lot of questions in the comments. Come on the screen. Come on.
So do we have any other questions in the comments that you can see before we bring on Zane?
Yes, I do see some. They said, hold on, let me
let's
go
see what we
back. Let's see what we have.
Okay, so I got one here from Anna Maria, and I think Anna Maria is also backstage, so we'll bring her in a second here.
Yeah.
Sorry, we'll bring her in shortly here. I know she's asking about USB cables. So my advice on USB cables, and you can also weigh in, Letitia.
Yeah.
I personally try to buy the name brand ones. For example, if I'm going to buy a cable, I try to buy the name brand ones because, like you can buy, for example, the Apple cable, but then Anchor makes really great cables. And then I think Aukey is another one, but Anchor, for example, is a really good cable manufacturer. Bettercables.com is also a good one. By the way, Anna Marie, if you send me a link, I'll chat, or if you send me a Facebook message or something, I'll chat more with you about cables. If you're like, hey, I have, this kind of cable, this is what I need, because you also have to remember, you kind of get what you pay for with cables.
Yep, that's true.
Even though it's like, oh, hey, it's a $15 cable, there might be certain things in the cable that make it work better. So a lot of times they're about the same, but you want to make sure you buy a good quality one. So, okay, so let's go ahead and bring on Zane. And then if there's any other questions here that you notice, Letitia, let me know. See a couple other people joining, so this is good. Okay, so Brandon, I'm going to kick you out from the studio for now, just because I got a couple people I want to join. But let's bring on Zane. Zane, good having you back.
Hey, Christian. Hey, Letitia. How are you?
Hey, Zane.
Good to see you this time. A lot of changes on the Letitia side this time. You have a mic right next to you this time. That's
yes, I
really
feel
good.
official now. I feel official.
Yeah, it's all official now.
Definitely.
Okay, so my question for today is I go live on Sunday. Okay. So I have a timing for that, like according to the UK, which is 7 p.m. That's like I try to tell in all of my uploads and videos and around the social media and everything. So at the moment, that live is about Q&A. So you can ask me a question and I will be able to answer you. I make how-to e-commerce tutorials, so selling on eBay, selling on Amazon, selling on Shopify, stuff like this.
Okay.
But at the moment, to increase the super chat and revenue at the same time, what I'm doing is I have in the chat, you put the queue like you guys are doing. You put the queue. I will answer all the questions in order the way they come in. But if you send a super chat, that will take a priority. So I will pick that up as well. Okay. But as much I care about revenue, I do care about how can I get maximum replay value out of it. So I am thinking about redesigning and restructuring whole of my live stream, which I don't know how I can fit in the Q&A inside as well. Because the Q&A, I understood something is like when the people are inside the live, they will be watching. But if they are not being included in a replay, they don't watch. So I need like a tips on that one. Like how can I really structure in a way so I can get the viewership, live viewership value and the replay value at the same time.
So can you ask your question again? I was hearing some of it, but not all of it.
So at the moment, the show is about Q&A, so I do Q&A. Okay. But the thing about Q&A, they don't really get replay value. So the people who are asking the question, getting the answer, they will be hanging out inside the chat and everything. But I want to structure my show in the way that I will get a maximum replay value out of that or as well. So is there any tips for that one you can tell?
My tip, so I would do a couple of things. So I think you can get a lot of value actually out of the Q&A. But where would you be streaming to? That's the first question. Like if you're streaming to YouTube. Live, where is it?
Always YouTube. I just do YouTube.
Okay. So what I would do on YouTube, add chapter markers to every question. Okay.
Okay.
But the other thing also you kind of need to think overarching goal here, or sorry, overarching just over top of your video. So you're doing a show about Q&A. Now, what I might do is I might niche that down a little bit and have a specific show on a specific question. Like in this case, I'm doing live stream reviews because it's a broad topic. But the reason I say that is because, you want to try to optimize for a specific keyword. And if you have, 10 questions that come in and they're all unrelated, it's hard to give your main show an optimization at that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like I'll give you an example. Yesterday we did here on StreamYard, we do a Learn with StreamYard episode every couple of weeks. So we talked about how to use countdown timers. These are the ones that go at the beginning of your show. You can put them in the middle and so forth. And our episode was only about countdown timers. We did have a question in the middle. So they said, hey, how do I bring up, a timer on screen where like it shows like, oh, there's 5 minutes left, things like that. And there's some little ways you can do that. But the primary thing, the goal was, it was all about countdown timers. So the questions were all countdown timer questions. So that's how I might consider structuring it a little bit. So then as you're making each of these episodes, they have all specific keywords that you're optimizing them for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they can rank for the name of your brand, the name of your show, but they can also then each one has a specific keyword that they can rank for. So for example, what would be a topic that somebody might have, like a Q&A, like a specific question?
Okay, so because I do the content around selling on eBay and Amazon, so most of the people will be coming up asking the question, okay, how can I get more sales? Where can I find the items to sell? So these kind of questions that I normally get.
So what I would do with that is I would make a show specifically about you could have a show about, X ways to generate more revenue on Amazon. X ways to sell. That's specifically what that show is about. Now you can answer the questions during it. That's fine. But so that's the first way. So then the next thing, somebody might have the question of, how do I get set up to sell on Amazon? Does this make sense? So like you have a playlist, for example, on your channel, and then now every live video is very specific. It's specifically about Amazon or specifically about eBay and so forth. And you dump them into the right playlist. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then that's how I think you get more people to tune in.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a couple of problems with it, particularly at where I am at, I have around over 3.5K subs at the moment.
Yeah.
But the problem with it, like the people who will be showing up in a live stream, even though they know the title, they can see what we are talking about today, but it is very hard for them to come up with a question around that particular topic at the same time. So if my topic, like how to get more sales, they might ask me, how can I actually open Amazon account from the first place? So this is something like it always goes like off the topic. This is something that I really struggle with as well.
Yeah. You can't control, here's the thing, you can't control all the questions, but you can answer some of them. But the other thing you have to remember is, as you're doing the individual videos, you're building a train. So basically the first one is one topic. Here's the next one. Here's the next one. The next one. The first few might be, you might get a lot of people asking a lot of things, but then what it might mean is you need to work smarter in the sense that, and smarter, I mean, in the sense that you put out a video that's on a particular topic and then you go to the next one. And then if somebody has that question, you direct them back to the first one. So you need to get more cars out there, basically.
Another thing is that you don't want to overextend yourself. What's important, what's so amazing about us, those of us who have channels and we're content curators and we have shows like this, is that we are allowing our audience to eliminate the overwhelm. So we get them focused on the top 3 to 5 things that we want them to focus on regarding that subject matter. And anything beyond that needs for them to work one-on-one with you. You know what I'm saying? So this could be an opportunity. Let's say you do have a topic and you want them to stay focused on that topic and answer questions based on that topic, but you have somebody that really needs help on the big picture, then maybe you should start becoming a consultant and start to charge that'd be like a separate, income stream for you. For those who are just like, listen, I just want to do the whole big picture more than what you're just talking about in this moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a really good tip as well.
Yeah.
What do you think about, like, because the questions are very random at the moment, and somewhat my live stream quality is okay. It's not same as my video uploads as well, but it is acceptable. What do you think about if I download whole of my live stream, clip them into a small 1x1 video, and then have a clip channel and then upload everything over to there? This way, if I'm going live for 1 hour, hour and a half, for every single question, I have that old batch content, which I can do topic by topic, optimize everything with a separate thumbnail, and put everything over to the clip channel. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, you can always, I'd say you can always repurpose your content in different ways. A lot of people, they assume that people have already seen the content.
That's true. Come on, Christian. That's true.
You want to always be making other pieces of content. For example, if you've got a 1 hour show, you don't want to just put out that 1 hour video and be like, okay, I'm done. Split that up into different segments or different pieces of content, and then you can drop them out there. And then the great thing about it is, like, if there's a certain question, for example, if it's that 1 hour thing, you could pull out like the section and then you can repurpose it. And then people who have that specific question can jump right to it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. And another good point, by the way, from Michael Daniels here, by the way, he had a comment about, helping you, like, from a video standpoint. Great thing would be to put cards in your video after you're done, or you can direct them to where that question can be answered as well. Again, just remember, you need to, you pick like your niche, and then what you need to do is you need to also think about it and say, okay, now that I have this video created, what other ones can I be making? So
yes, that's so true.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna if you have any other questions,
no, thank you. Thank you so much for answering these.
Move on. We're gonna answer a couple in the chat, and then we're gonna move on to Jennifer. So thank you so much, by the way, and thanks for everybody for being patient.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Dane. Okay, so let's see if there's any questions here in the chat, and then Jennifer, I'm going to bring you in, and we're going to keep moving things along. So let's see. What do we have here? And I think we got a lot of good questions here. There's a lot.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so, and by the way, there's a lot of questions here, so I'm just trying to make sure I hit the right one.
I saw it too. I was trying to read them all.
Okay, so let's see. Are we okay? So, Induranda, are you two by any chance displaying the optimal positions for your mics? So it's going to come down to partly the type of microphone you're using. So I'm running this is a Shure SM7B. So microphones have different patterns, and some of them are condenser mics, some of them are dynamic. They have a different cone. And what I mean by the cone is, like, you'll have something that's like this, where when you're speaking into it, it's only going one direction. So it's not picking up other noise. And then you have some that are like circular. It's basically omnidirectional. So it's going all the way around the pattern. Yeah. And so what that's doing is it's picking up every little thing that's around there. So if you've got something over here and something over, anything that's around it, whether it's people or anything, it's picking up potentially all that noise versus just focusing it to one side of the mic. As far as position, I mean, for me, I tested this out. I give this advice a lot. It's to go to Guitar Center, honestly.
Yes.
They're not a sponsor of anything. It's just that it's
over there.
They sell audio gear for musicians.
Yeah.
So if you're a singer or a musician, or you're a podcaster, or you're a recording artist, they sell they sell mics, they sell boards, all that sort of stuff. And they have all the mics on display so you can actually test them out.
And they want to help you. Like they like, what's your question? What's your question? They're so helpful.
Exactly.
Yeah, and with my mic, I realized that from being on the show that I had this mic for a while, but I was using it wrong. Like my mic, it's like, I don't know if y'all can see it. It's more of like a pointy shape.
Yep.
So I was talking into it like this, you know, and really I'm supposed to be talking to it from the side.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you can see, when you hear, I can hear the difference of that. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm on my mic, and I'm about 2 inches from my mic. So I'm not gonna. So here's I'm gonna step back, and now I'm almost a foot away. I don't know if that sounds any different.
It does sound different.
You don't hear me because the microphone, you know, it's not designed to go all the way out here and pick that up. That's what a different kind of mic would be useful for. Like sometimes you'll a mic, a boom arm mic, and something that goes, for example, above. For example, when they're filming something in Hollywood and they got two people talking, they're not mic'd up with lavalier mics for the most part. They're getting the microphone from the top. You're muted, by the way, Letitia. So, you know, they're getting the microphone from the top so they can get both the dialogues and everything else that's around them versus just the dialogue. So so really it's just, you know, in this case, I'm a couple of inches from the mic, but you want to test it. And that's an easy way to do that. If you're, for example, in StreamYard, create a new broadcast, use the record only feature, and then do a recording, like record yourself like this, you know, keep the mic like recording. So make it hot, and then just talk this way and this way and talk from the side and see what actually works and what sounds the best. Your ears are going to tell you what sounds the best. It's going to sound good. It's going to sound rich if you have the right mic.
That's true. I'm so sorry about that. I was having my nephew fix my lighting, but that's very true. And again, this is why Christian says, go into the store like we used to do back in the old days, which was like a year ago, and ask questions to, and a lot of people that are in the guitar store, they're musicians, they're podcasters, they're using the equipment that they're selling. So that's what I do enjoy about it as well.
Yeah. So a couple other questions here. And then I'm going to bring Jennifer in, by the way.
Yep.
And I want to thank everyone for being patient backstage. I really appreciate it.
We are loving this.
So Jennifer, Sapphire Gray has a question. What tool do I use to share my iPad? Okay. So this is all I had. So I'm using the iPad. I have an A10 mini. It's a switcher. So basically what happens is my iPad is plugged directly into that. So it has a HDMI cable that goes from the switcher into the iPad. And that's literally it. I'll show you how easy this is to use. Let me see. So obviously once I'm logged into my iPad, I literally have a button on the switcher. So I push the button and now this brings up whatever's on my iPad. So like, for example, I don't even know what's here. Let's see. Well, this will go into like settings or something like that. Yeah. So there's some settings, for example, but I can easily just go between things. I can share my screen and so forth. And then this one has the feature where I can, because I have the iPad plugged in and a camera. So I've got the camera here and I've got the iPad off to the side. I can just push, there's a picture in picture button and I can just turn it on. And then now I'm actually on screen there and I can reposition this. There's a couple of ways there's basically buttons I can reposition, but this could be any camera. So if I had a phone plugged in, I could plug in a phone. I can plug in the iPad. I can plug in a screen. I can plug in another camera and so forth. And that's the more advanced way to do this.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you have to use that, but that's the more advanced way to do it. Okay. So let me do two more questions. Jennifer, by the way, if you have a specific question, by the way, if you're waiting backstage, do me a favor, click on the private chat option and just tell me like what your question is. So I kind of know what we're going to be bringing it on for. Okay.
Someone asked if how do you get over your camera shyness of the camera?
Okay.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, I think practice. What do you think?
I feel, you know, what I used to trick myself, like when I used to go live in the beginning, and live streaming for me started on was it Google Hangout? We used to do live before there was a thing called live streaming term. But I would just like hide the views so I wouldn't see how many people are watching. Yeah. And I would just, you know, imagine that I'm just talking to myself in the mirror. But the biggest thing for me is you have to have a huge passion for what you're doing. And if you don't, then it's like, what does all this matter? So for me, when I first started live stream, I was working in corporate and I got tired of working in corporate. I got tired of being away from my kids.
Yeah.
So when live streaming first came around, I was like, wow, I see all these people leaving their jobs, making money, going live. So I said, hey, I'm going to jump in because I'm basically doing what I was doing for corporate. So you got to really say your why has to be big enough for you to get out there every day and not care about anything other than reaching your goals. So that's that, and the confidence will follow from that.
Definitely. No, definitely 100%. I mean, and if anybody has any additional advice that you would share as far as, how to be more confident. I mean, the couple of things I would say this, I mean, so if you're just starting on live, maybe the best approach would actually be to join other people's lives.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is coming backstage with us here. That's an easy win. You come on. I mean, just, I know everybody has the fear of like, hey, raise your hand or whatever. I have a question or things like that. Just come on stage. I mean, I'm not judging. No one's judging here. So we want to help you. So if you have questions, come backstage. If you're somebody, for example, and you want to get on other people's lives, it's not just about watching someone's live, but if you've got someone who is in a specific industry and you want to also get in that industry as well, go on their lives and network and just talk with them.
Yeah.
And then when you get the confidence, you're going to get the confidence, then you can come out with your own show, for example.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I used to do Pass the Cast too. I don't know if you ever heard of it, where you get on somebody's Pass the Cast and you're only talking for 10 minutes. And that really got me confident because I'm like, hell, I could talk for 10 minutes. And then it was to a point where I was talking over 10 minutes and a moderator would be like, Tisha, turn your camera off because we only talk for 10 minutes. Pass the Casts are great, especially if you have a fear of going live as well, because, everything is already pre-planned and you just show up and just, the topic is there and you just state your perspective on whatever topic that they have for that day. So yeah, I used to do Pass the Cast all the time.
Fantastic. Yeah. And so I got two questions, I think, said,
sure.
Right? So so next question was, is there a plan for backgrounds? I think you're talking about virtual backgrounds instead of having a green screen. Again, it's on our feature request list. We get a lot of people asking for that. The one thing you have to remember when you're doing a virtual background is you have to have good lighting.
Yes.
For example, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get banding on the edges of your videos. So it's going to be kind of like going in and out. The other thing also, so you've got a microphone, for example, or things in the shot. When you use the virtual option, it's not 100%. And so for example, your microphone might be partially invisible. I mean, there's all sorts of for example, if you're drinking out of a glass like this would actually be weird because this would sort of disappear usually.
Yeah, it would disappear for us. And let me tell you, I had a green screen before and I wear makeup a lot. It was reflecting off of my eyeshadow.
Yeah.
And my eyes was looking red. And I was like, oh, I don't like this. I spent so much money on green screens. Here's the thing about green screens. Why do you want a green screen? It's like, is that really going to help what it is that you are doing? You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm only saying this because I tested it out. When I eliminate the green screen and people got to see the background, like sometimes I go live in my living room, sometimes I go live on my balcony, and people are seeing me being the mom and the entrepreneur. And that really got more people tuning in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think, if you want to get a green screen, go for it, but just ask yourself, is it better for you to really showcase yourself in your natural element? And they even talked about this on the town hall, on the StreamYard town hall a couple of weeks back. So just, I spent so much money on green screens that now it's all boxed up. I just, and in Christian's right, you got to be mindful of what you're wearing. You can go crazy with backgrounds and stuff. Sometimes it's just a distraction sometimes when we're adding all these. But here's the thing though. I wish I took that hundreds of dollars I spent on green screens and spent it on my sound. Because that's what's important. So you could have a great green screen, but your sound can be crappy, or your camera quality can be crappy. Your lighting can suck and nobody watches, but you got a great green screen. People don't show up for the green screen. They show up for the content.
Exactly.
So remember that.
I like the point. It can be a distraction. Not to say you shouldn't use a green screen, but it can be a distraction. Also, Michael Daniels makes another good point here. Let me find his comment actually. Also, people are asking for features. If something is browser based, it's as he mentioned, it's more difficult to be able to do some of that as well, because you need to be in the space, but then you also need the processing power as well. You know, and so there's a lot to it. And I'll also attest this. I have a green screen. It's sitting right here on a box, actually.
Wrapped up.
It's been sitting there, you know, and here's the thing. It's when you set up a green screen, you know, you put it up behind you, but then you have to set up all the lighting. And then if you want to actually move around, it's not easy to use. And then depending on the space you're working in, if you don't have adequate lighting, it's got to be lighted properly. Otherwise, it's
gonna look bad. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You could be wearing a blue shirt and then you just disappear into the background. Now, I gotta get a different shirt now. It's just
like my hoodie right here, for example, this green would get, you know, stripped out, and then it would just
this yellow here in my wrap. I remember I had one. People couldn't see it. Yeah.
So okay, so let's do this. Let me see if there's one more. Okay, so here's what I'm going to pause on the comments. I'm going to answer those, but we're going to bring Jennifer in. Jennifer, let me see if she has a specific question. Okay, so, well, you know what? Let's bring you in. We'll chat.
Let's bring you on,
Jennifer,
mamas.
What do we got going on? Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
New York.
Washington Heights, Uptown New York. So my name is Jennifer, and I'm the producer for a live stream called New York Dominican. On my side, I'm a little delay. I think on your side, you can see me fine. I think it's a computer issue that I have. But if you guys can see me okay, that's fine. If you don't, I could go on my phone. So thank you so much for being here today. And definitely, I love the new features that StreamYard has.
Yes.
With the bubbles and with the videos, with the links. Definitely has been so helpful, because before I used to do little YouTube going back and forth. So I have a question. So I wanted to be on the laptop today because I have issues with my green screen. You mentioned before the edges. I have lighting, but I guess then I will need 3 more lights on me, beaming.
So you need a couple things. So for starters, you need the green screen. You should try to get it flat first of all. So try to get all the wrinkles out. So that it's flat against the wall. The other, you need multiple types of lights. So you need, so let's see. So if this is me in here, so make sure I'm still in frame here. So you want to have side lights here that are kind of angling back on you, but then you also want to have a third light as well. So you basically are just filling the room with as much light as possible.
I see.
That makes sense? Yeah. So, and then once you do that, and it may mean sometimes people will get they call it a hair light. They'll light certain parts of the back of their hair, for example, because that creates definition between you and the background. So that's the other thing. You don't want to be so close. So you want to also avoid shadows and things like that. In your case, I'm guessing, I think, is your green screen possibly angled maybe based on your camera?
Yeah, it's a laptop, so I guess maybe my laptop is angled. Maybe I have to bring it back and forth.
Part of that could be that. So the other thing also, I'll tell you about my background. This is just a vinyl background that I have printed. And so what I do there is, this costs way less than a green screen, by the way. And the hardest part is just okay, do I make it 8 feet wide, or do I get a 6 foot wide one, or do I get a 10 foot wide one? It partly comes down to the room, but the benefit to this is that I can take it up, I can take it down, I could change it, have 2 of them, for example.
Yeah.
The other thing also, so from a green screen standpoint, this is a super cheap green screen option, by the way. Anybody ever seen green poster board that you put on a wall? So that is a good hack if you want to put up a green screen and you don't want to have to iron out fabric and things like that. You get a nice green poster board and you can add that, and that can become your green screen, and it might be a little easier to light. So because the one thing I'm noticing, whatever you're adjusting, you adjusted something and you're seeing pixelation, and then it's going away.
Yeah, now it's back.
I don't know if you're adjusting something.
Yes, I was trying to go to green screen to show you another example of my green screen, but it's the same issue at the edges. I do know about that hack. I think when I started, I had some green poly poster thingy, but I needed to fill up my wall. So I was okay, it looks like half the wall is white, and then at the screen. So I was well, let me invest in a bigger one, but I'm still having the issues with the block one. It has this blinking. So what I do, a hack that I do, is I try to get a white green screen image so that when that little thing shows, you can't really see it. because you think it's a white background, but there's an image in the, like I put like a window, so people are looking at the window and at me, but they're not noticing the issues on the sides. That's a hack I've been using. I could show you real quick. For Christmas, I was using this because that was the only one that was working for me at that moment for the issues I was having.
And by the way, real quick, I'm gonna just bring a couple of comments, and I'm gonna actually bring in a couple people here that I see in the background because you guys are see you're adjusting your green screens. So Yomi is saying, you know, that so a couple of pieces of advice. She's saying, Yomi's saying you need to be further from the green screen, and then 2 lights just for the screen.
Yes.
The other thing also could be the camera potentially. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be the camera.
But like if it's like a webcam, for example, if, like let's say it's the laptop webcam.
Yeah, she's using her laptop camera.
Laptop webcams, they have like this is the one thing like when this is a big reason why people buy mirrorless or DSLR cameras is because the sensors are bigger, so they can allow more light in and they have more ability to do things. Smartphones are great, by the way, for webcams. When you get to your laptop, though, they're very, very, very like not that great. So they're not necessarily gonna. They don't have enough sensor on them to potentially be able to pick up all that light. So what I want to do,
I've been using Logi webcam. I don't know if you have a referral, Christian, but I've been using Logi LOGI for years. The last one I had lasted 10 years before it broke on me. But I got a new one last year. Same company, Logi, and I love it. It looks amazing. Yeah, Logitech. I'm so sorry.
No worries. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to bring on Paul and I'm going to bring on Brandon real quick, and I just want to have them. So Brandon and Paul, it's not a question at the moment, but I'm going to bring you on because I want you to talk about the green screen.
Yes.
You have yours set up so that we can help Jennifer here. And everyone else that's hanging on backstage, thank you so much, by the way. I'm going to make sure I send you guys something afterwards. So let's talk Brandon and Brandon and Paul, by the way. So I want to do this. So Jennifer's having some green screen issues, and I saw you all were both turning on your green screen and turning it off, and they look great. So I don't know if you want to maybe walk through like how you have your green screen set up, like Brandon.
Green screen. I got this new one for Christmas. It's basically like a advertising screen board.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So okay, you basically have the same thing I have, which is a background that can roll up, right?
That's what it is.
Okay. Okay.
It's holding up by
okay, cool.
This one right here is the old one.
Okay.
I like balanced it across from the thing that.
Okay. Yeah.
Pin on the wall.
And then what kind of camera are you using? Let's talk camera. What kind of camera are you using? What kind though? Is it like is it an external webcam? For example, I've got a Logitech Brio here that I use. So what kind of webcam are you using?
It's a AD.
What brand?
ADVENT.
Okay, so an Advent. Okay, yeah. So you've got an external webcam. Okay, great. And then so turn that on real quick. So as you can see, he's not. So here, I'll actually solo his shot so we can see how this looks. So turn it. So as you can see, he's got a little bit of banding going around his hair, which is typical. Which means he probably just needs a little more light there. Yeah, and then turn it off. So yeah, and I'd say the one thing. So if I look at the edges of your screen and I look at your right side, I think the part where it's the background. The one thing I see there is that like there might need to be a little more light because that will, I think, help improve I think that'll give you a much
yeah.
I tried to use my light ring, but I made it like flex and shine too much on this.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. And this is the one thing that people have to remember. I mean, green screens. So Michael Daniels is also saying that like it's not flat necessarily.
Yeah, I saw that.
All the way up, because this is what happened.
Yep. Yeah.
Never all the way up thinking, oh yeah, that would help out notes at this level. Otherwise,
Yeah.
glitch out.
Okay, cool.
Doing ways to get like that, not like that.
Yeah. Awesome. So thanks for coming. Yeah. So hold on. What did you do there? What did you just get that edging to go away? The slider?
Oh, okay. Paul, can you go on mute for a second? We're hearing all your movement. It's all right.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So Jennifer, yeah. So I think part of it, to Michael's point, so make sure it's flat. And then to Brandon's point, as you could see from the types of green screen he has there, he's got two different ones. He's got one that is a roll-up banner. And then he's also got one that's an actual carpet. Oh, it could be like an invisibility cloak. It's like a Harry Potter cloak here. That's actually kind of cool.
One is an actual Harry Potter cloak, which is pattern like moving and green and
very nice. So Paul, Brandon, thank you very much for joining us and for giving Jennifer some advice there. So I'm gonna now bring Paul on. Paul, so can you talk about your green screen real quick? And I know you have a question as well, so be sure to answer that.
Yeah, I got a bunch of questions, but welcome. I'm usually on the other side of this stream, so I'm confused being a guest. So excuse
all good.
You can be more laid back now.
Right? Yeah, you asked me a question.
No, I want to, because I saw you guys were playing with the green screen, and and I want to have like maybe you can answer or show us what does your screen look like. So for example, you've got very good definition right now between you and your background. So let's see what that looks like. So okay, do me a favor, turn that off. So there's your green screen. Okay, so your green screen is interesting. So yours does have some wrinkles in it, but I'm noticing when you turn it back on. So now click to turn it back on. So yours is actually doing a pretty good job there. Actually,
you know what the secret is?
What is it?
The secret is the lighting.
Yes.
Oh, look at that.
I am bouncing a really long 8-foot LED light off of the white ceiling.
Yeah.
And it illuminates the whole room pretty evenly.
That's good.
Gotcha.
And then I have another face light to my left here, and then one higher to my right. So light is important with the green screen. This is a MacBook Pro. I'm using the FaceTime camera on it, which is really bad.
Yeah.
And the more light, the better it is. It's the processing power really on this laptop that keeps me from using the green screen on it, because if I get 2 guys or 3 guys in the green room, it's just chugging along and it just messes everything up. So I do it on, I have another Mac Mini that I usually do my live streams on. And that's strong enough to do all of that. Plus.
Okay, so do me a favor. So from what I can see for Jennifer, one thing I do remember how yours was kind of going outwards. I could definitely tell you your green screens, your camera is not picking up you definitely full frame. So part of it might be like, hey, I need to tilt part of it's I might need to tilt the camera towards me a little bit. Yeah.
Or so get more in the middle.
And then I think the other thing also is, you need to be a little more in the middle, and then you actually might need to have the background a little bit closer to you to get rid of the white edges at least. So that would help with some of that.
Okay, so, I did notice when I took off the image in the back, at least for my side, there was no delay in streaming. When I had this happened to me in the beginning of StreamYard too. When I used to have the green screen image, there used to be a huge delay of what I saw as a producer. I don't know if you guys could see that on my side, but everything was so delayed in seconds. I just took the feature off, and now I'm like, I can see myself, I can hear myself clearly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, just remember also when you're using the green screen application, it does take up power. It needs processing power. So definitely check that out. And I do want to share this actually. This is a neat little app. It's called Green Screener, and Michael Daniels actually mentioned this.
I can see it. I can see her shadow on her green screen, and that's a problem. I can see the shadow behind her. She needs to position her lights above her so that shadow hits the floor.
Yeah.
So she either has to increase the distance of the green screen behind her or the angle of the light in front of her.
Yeah.
Because you want that shadow to not be there.
And that's what I did. I have my ring light above me because we wear glasses. So a lot of times, you know, that you see how it shows, but now it's not, because now I have my ring light like coming down instead of coming forward at me. Yeah.
So what I just dropped a couple of links to. So there's an app, it's called Green Screener. And so Michael Daniels actually shared this as well. Let me see if I can pull this up.
Well, here's one of my questions. I don't know if this is possible, but in the green screening setup, the fader is so far down at the bottom of the box that you cannot adjust the fader and have the image in the viewer at the same time. Do you understand what I'm saying? I can scroll down on the right-hand side, and I have to choose to either have my image or the fader control. Is there any way to shrink that down so it all fits in one window?
Good question.
That is a very good one. So one thing I would say, so this is a little like computer hack, I guess. So if you're on a Mac, Command plus or Command minus
to make
just
it window shorter.
But, okay. Only reason I'm saying that is because it will shrink or let you zoom into your windows a little bit. Because so Paul, what I want to have you do is I want to have you just send me a private message afterwards. Where'd he go? We'll bring Paul back, but I want to have Paul just message me and let me know just a little more about that so we can make sure that we get that taken care of.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to actually show you all real quick here as well. So I'm going to, this was just an app I was talking about, and it's called Green Screener. This is Michael Daniels mentioned this earlier. So basically it's an app. It's like $10. And so it helps you identify like the hot spots for your green screen. So Jennifer, this might be very useful for you actually. So as you can see here, I mean, there's different so this is so these help me understand the different banding. And so what I want to do is that you want to basically remove, you want to get the solid background. And so if you notice hey, there's certain spots that aren't being picked up, that's possibly why. So I'm not saying you have to use this, but definitely something worth checking out. Paul, by the way, bringing you back in, do me a favor.
Was it something I said?
I don't know. You disappeared. I didn't remove you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I went to say hello. Oh, now it's gone.
But do me a favor, Paul. Just send me a private message with the green screen feature if you have a screenshot of that, and I'll get that submitted to our team and get them to work on that.
Well, your solution worked. Your solution worked. So I don't think there's a problem now. If I just do the minus, I can make it small enough. But that might have been what kicked me out, though, because I was in the process of trying it on the settings screen, and then I just disappeared. So you want me to try it again?
Whatever you want to do. It's up to you.
All right. Nothing gained.
So Jennifer, does this help? Hopefully this helps you.
Yes, just to recap. So tips, try to get like a Logitech external webcam, because I'm using the internal one. And I think that's the issue with the delay of me having a green screen and me seeing it like a little bit delay sometimes. And also the screener, I think you said the green screen app. I'm going to check that out and download it just so it could help me. And I'm going to get the extra lighting, which I would say 2 to 3, right? A little screen round thingy. And then on the sides, I do love using images. That's why I like the green screen. But if there's, any tips that could help me, that'll be great. I do have some other, just 2 quick questions about issues with international callers. So our live stream is in Spanish. So I'm I'm producing, I have like a team of people like doing the interviews. I always tell my guests, you're going to come in 20 minutes. First, we're doing some current event stuff. While they're there, I do a rehearsal a day before, and if they're fine, sometimes where they're coming in, they're having issues. I don't know if it's a Wi-Fi connection issue, there's just issues. So I'm in the back using a phone, if it's through WhatsApp, trying to see what's going on. So with my guests is that sometimes they don't have an iOS phone or an Android. So their mic and their camera, they need permission, but I'm used to iOS, so I have to go online, which StreamYard has to be very helpful was giving me answers right away when I press support, like I need help. So I'm looking at that, translating it, and then I'm calling the person like, okay, go to your settings, turn on camera or something. But it does take some time for international users who have like international different phones. Any tips on that?
For the most part, they're just going to be iOS and Android devices.
Yeah.
And so the only difference really, I mean, so iOS is going to ask you, Android should ask you, but if it doesn't, so I've got a couple Androids here as well. You can go into, it's really just a matter of almost like having a little card, you know, with instructions or having information you send the person. So for example, you know, for the most part, it's just a matter of going into settings, looking, you know, for example, I would always just, I don't even just try to find the setting. I just say, go to settings. And then I just search for like camera or like, what's the keyword I want to find. So I do that. And then if I don't ever find it, I just go into the Google Chrome settings, and Chrome, you know, if that's the browser they're using, it should give you the option to specify which camera they're using. That's going to be the best way. And then the other side of this also is, this is part of you is, so for anyone who's a remote producer, you know, it's up to you as a remote producer to give this information to your guest. So if this, for example, is a question that you get a lot, you know, don't like write the same answer every single time. Like make a document of it. So have like a Google spreadsheet Google Doc that you have with all these instructions written out. So that way you don't have to do them all the time. For the most part, it's going to be the exact same instructions from Android device to Android device. I've used, I've used Samsung devices. I've got Huawei. I've got like all these different devices, and they all work virtually the same.
Yeah.
For that, I have told them it does just pop up for them saying go to Google Chrome. So I told them just copy and paste it there, and like it kind of works out. A hack that I do is I told them, does anybody has an iOS in your house? Go borrow it. And then I send them through WhatsApp. I send them the link, and it goes through. So like always, my backup is like, okay, get someone's phone. Let's see how it goes on their phone now. And for some reason, it always goes well if they use someone else's phone. A lot of times they don't know how to go to settings. I have like people who are not really savvy tech on even using their phone settings. So I'm actually giving a tutorial. But StreamYard does have like like help section, like a Word document. So I do have that, and I will send it. But it's true what you said. Sometimes it's different. So I have to like move it.
Oh, definitely. And here's the thing. I mean, it is going to be one of those things where, you know, if, honestly, another little thing you could do if you want to get more views on your channel, like say you have a YouTube channel, why not make a video of this and walk people through how to actually do that? So then that way you can send them the video each time, you get a view and so forth.
Perfect idea.
That's a very great idea. Thank you for that. And then issues. Okay, a lot of times I do the rehearsal, but then while they're on the stream, there's a delay in hearing them give us the responses. So this happens often that I have to tell them in the rehearsal, when this happens, reconnect. So many times during the interview, they have to reconnect 3 times or 4, just because I guess maybe in their house, the Wi-Fi or something, or is that an issue is there any like tips on I could give the guests? Because it does happen often.
Okay. So, one thing I would say in regards to that, so let's say, let's see. So first thing is you should always try to plug into Ethernet. And that's 100%. So the reason I recommend that is because when you plug into Ethernet, you're getting a consistent feed of internet. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, if they're in an area where, like, let's say you're at home and your kids are gaming at the same time, you have to kick, and it could be kids or adults, whoever, but you need to have that really intensive task not happening while you're trying to stream. Third thing, preferably you should join via a desktop or laptop. If you join on mobile, like mobile doesn't, there are some adapters you can try for Ethernet, but it's not like your mobile device, it connects to the Wi-Fi network, but it may not be able to get the speeds that the laptop gets, for example. Remember, just because it has Wi-Fi doesn't mean that the Wi-Fi network, the router that you use and the laptop are like the top ones. Like if you have a new router, for example, your router has a really a much better band that it can use to reach higher speeds. But if you're using like a laptop that's like 10 years old, it can only go so high. It doesn't get those top speeds. So that's a key thing. And the other thing would be for your internet service. Sometimes people need to contact their internet service and get more upload speed.
That's right.
You know,
I just got an extender. I just got an extender from mine because, to your point, Christian, I have 5 kids. They're all on their laptops all the time. Plus, remote learning is kind of hard for me to say, "Hey guys, turn off your computers," because you want to complete their assignments. But I do shows too as well, Jennifer. And what's really important, as you mentioned, is like making sure everybody is understanding that, if they do have a laptop, have them go on that laptop and use it. Another thing that has helped me out extremely when I'm doing my shows is I have a VA, and she handles all that stuff. Any technical issues, it goes to her and she handles it, so I can show up and the show just runs streamly, very well without me constantly with interruption. I mean, if you want to take this to the level where you want it to be, you also need that additional help as well. So, keep that in mind as well.
Yes, definitely. I mean, so we stream a lot of guests from the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
Sometimes their Wi-Fi is not so good. And out about the Ethernet, like, I don't know, you're sharing it. I do tell them, I think the last one, I told them, like, go to the basement where there's another Wi-Fi connection, because I guess there was a lot of people connected. So internationally, sometimes it's a little troubling because if they're on the phone, they're using that Wi-Fi. But I'm glad that you told me about that, because I've told them before, use your laptop because I think it's better.
Yeah.
At the same time, is at the end, right? If they got a Wi-Fi extender, or if a lot of people are using it, like, tell them, like, let me use it first. Because I travel there a lot, and also when I use internet over, like, in the Caribbean, it's a little difficult.
Yeah.
For the one in New York City,
Yeah.
So that's one of the issues, but I'm glad you told me that so I could troubleshoot with them. Is there a maybe Spanish instructions coming in the future for like for StreamYard in the future, like maybe the instructions?
That's a great idea.
So do me a favor. Also, another thing, hit me up on Facebook, shoot me a private message, and I will just send me that feature, and I'll make sure that we get something to work on it.
Thank you. Yes, just because sometimes when I get the support, it's just English. I have to like translate right away, and I'm like, oh wow, like if this was in Spanish, I could like just paste and copy. But I'm trying to do my hacks where I have it like translated already, and I can just send it. And then quick thing, I know I saw somewhere that you guys are gonna bring like a music playlist thingy that I could sample in while the interview. What I've been doing is I've been putting like samples from YouTube, but it kind of looks different. But I would like for like my guests to all be like all together, and like we can hear it, and not put the YouTube kind of like big screen to like hear the sample.
But can you upload the video onto your computer and then upload it onto StreamYard as a video clip?
Yeah, I do that, but I just want to like sometimes we just want to hear like they send me through WhatsApp just like a new premiere or something, and it's basically the music. It's not a video, but I guess I can download it like a video and just add like a background or something. Just like let's hear it, But yeah, I don't know if I saw something that you guys are gonna include like maybe a music playlist where like we could have music in the background while we're interviewing.
That was mentioned last week.
So I think I'm trying to remember, was it mentioned that we're working on that, or was it?
Well, yeah, we did mention it last week, and you did said there's something that somebody was talking about looping though. It was like looping.
So we were talking about so you can do some of this now if you use a tool like a loopback from Rogue Amoeba. So basically it's a tool for basically taking all the sounds from different things and piping them together. So if you have like sound here and you have your like broadcast, you can then take them and combine them into the one feed that comes into StreamYard, for example. So that would be a good way to do that. It's additional software. It's a third-party software.
Yeah, so, you're right. You're right, NLT. Just be careful. Make sure you own the rights to all the music, because Facebook shut down a couple of my lives just on Facebook. It still showed up on YouTube, but because I had music in the background or just music playing on a video that I didn't own the rights to the music.
Sometimes we, like the team, we debate on that because that's happened before. Either YouTube won't upload it and take it off like in like a few minutes, or Facebook would take it down. So we're like, where's the interview? It's because we have music.
I just don't play music at all.
Like we had a contestant from American, like singers, American. It's this big show on TV, and this girl won. And you know, we had clips about America. I forgot just the name of the preview, but because of that, YouTube sent us an email saying we cannot put this because of that. But I'm like, this is the singer who won, and this is her music. No, it just didn't.
Well, play without the sound because you can share it without adding the audio. So y'all could just show it and just, you know, have commentary. Y'all could talk about it over the video. Like I seen a lot of people do that. Yeah.
And I can't put like 5 seconds of it. It'll still knock it down.
Nope.
Okay, I was just trying to play with that.
They'll take it.
NLTMW, mentions a couple of really good points here. So for starters, music is very dangerous. You know, if you're using any sort of music during a live stream, it doesn't always matter. Like, oh, I got it from this site, for example. You need to read what the rules are. There's a lot of people that they try to use, for example, they pay for a Spotify, and this is the basic one. They pay for a Spotify subscription. And they think they can just play that during the live stream. Not possible. Because you don't own the rights to that music. It's for personal use. So if you're like trying to be if you're a live streaming, for example, like a fitness instructor, same thing. You don't own the music for the most part to be able to use it for the task you're doing it for, because you do need to have, a business license, and that's much, much, much more expensive. I mean, it's a lot of money. It's like photography, same thing. Hey, I want to get a photograph that someone took. Doesn't matter if you're the person in the photograph, someone else owns the rights to that, for example.
Yeah. And I just don't play it because it's not worth it. It's like if I'm doing a show and it's a really good show and it gets taken down, that's all that work I put into getting a guest, paying for StreamYard to do it, and then it just gets eliminated. It's just like I just rather not play music anymore. I give up.
And one last point, NLTMW also says that copyright laws are different in different countries.
Yeah, very true.
You need to also be mindful of that, like, because you're broadcasting from the US, but you're going into other locations. So, it might depend on where your account was set up. I can't answer that one specifically, but that's something to keep in mind. So thank you very much, Jennifer. Do me a favor, send me a private message with your feature request and questions, and we'll also chat a little bit more. So thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna let's do 3 questions again, and I'm gonna bring on the next person, and we're gonna try to speed this up as much as I can. And this is awesome, by the way. I'll keep talking as long as you want to keep chatting. So let's see. So Permafrost Beards, thanks so much for joining the countdown timer tutorial we did yesterday on the Learn with StreamYard episode. Thanks a lot for joining and for creating your first countdown timer. Congrats on that.
Yes, congrats.
Let's see. Mike Simrad, having video and loop capabilities, green screen. Again, it's a feature request, so do me a favor, send me a private message with that. You can just message me through Facebook even if you want, and I will make a note of that. Let's see. So what other questions are you seeing? Let's see.
A lot of copyright questions, but we answered those already.
Viewers are leaving Here's a good one. Our viewers are leaving comments. It was displaying as just Facebook user with no profiles or settings.
I saw that.
Okay, so there is a setting. They need to go to, I think it's StreamYard.com / I think it's /Facebook. Yes. You need to go to /Facebook, and I'll actually show you what this looks like real quick. So let me pull this up. And the reason you have to do this, and this is something you should include in your instructions.
The attendee has to do this, by the way, guys. The person who's watching your stream has to do this themselves on their computer or their phone, whatever they're viewing you from.
Okay, so this is what that's going to look like. So let me go ahead and solo this.
Yeah.
So this is answering your question, and the URL is StreamYard.com /Facebook, and this is for approving. So that the guest needs to do this. So they need to. So I'll see if I can zoom in. Here we go. There we go. By the way, this is the nice thing about using the tablet. I can quickly just move this around on screen. So they have to go to StreamYard.com /Facebook in order to get rid of this, empty profile, and for you to be able to display somebody's name during your broadcast.
Yes.
So Awesome. Let's see. Let's do one more question, and then we're going to bring on Anna Maria. And I want to thank everybody seriously for being patient and sticking around.
Yes, it's just you on the screen, Christian.
Okay. No, thanks. I got it. Yeah. There we go. Let's see. Let's see. Let me find a good question here. So Stacy, you're welcome to join. Actually, if you want to 10K from Mr. Beast, that'd be great. Yeah, you're welcome to come on. I'll drop the invite link there, and then we'll get you in the queue.
That's right.
So you can join there. And with that, let's do this. Let me see. Yeah, I don't see any other questions. So let's bring on Anna Maria. Anna Maria, Thank you very much for being patient. I appreciate that.
I've done a lot of stretching. It's been good.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for this. I appreciate the time.
Anytime. So, okay. Anna Maria. So I see Jewel of Havana, I think, right? So like you have a question, an issue. What have we got?
I do. Well, I have many questions, but for time's sake, I will limit it to one today. So I'll come back next time you do it.
We'll do 2 questions. Perfect. 2 questions.
Okay. So I at the top of lockdown, I'm a jewelry artist. So it's Jewel of Havana handcrafted jewelry, and a part of my business is live art festivals, juried art festivals, and obviously in April it's been a year now almost that we've lost all of our live show opportunities. So I found StreamYard as a great solution to pivot and do them live. So do them virtually. So I collaborate with other artists and we do what's called Havana Happy Hour and do a live stream. Essentially, we're selling our products on virtually in the feed. A way that we get people to show up and buy and also build our lists, which is something else we're missing from being in live shows, is that we do giveaways. So we have a giveaway of our, each artist gives a piece and we give away, we've had sponsors, all that kind of stuff. It is a lot of work. I have to have an assistant off grabbing the emails. And also I wonder if people are resistant to put their emails in the chat because it's essentially public. So what I'm looking for is, does anyone have a way to automate this so that we're not having to physically grab the emails? And be like, is there like a bot or something we can use that they can hashtag enter, but still grab their email address or grab their email address without taking them off of the live feed?
I think the first thing is I think I would actually use a bot for something like that. A tool such as like a ManyChat, for example. So we'll just
ManyChat, MANY.
I just dropped it in the. I put that in the comments here. But yeah, check out ManyChat. So you could do. So here's the thing. You read the rules regarding bots. They've gotten to be very specific about what
they
you
have.
can do. Yes, you could use it where if you're on a stream and you're like, hey, everybody who puts a certain word or a certain hashtag or whatever, you put that in the flow of the bot, it can then do something, i.e., they get on an email list or something like that. So it can take them definitely to that, so they don't have to necessarily go off to something. That's one way. I do agree with you though on asking people to, for example, comment and put their email address public. Because
I was so surprised people did it. Like I thought no one's ever going to do this, but we really wanted to list build at the same time, and people did it. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
I don't know that I would do it. So
I mean, still have that option open for the ones who are open enough to just give their email, but also say, hey, if you don't want to put your email in the chat, just type comment email. And you'll get an instant message from me. This, with my form. Like you should have like a Google form or something, or even opt-in page.
We do have that, but then isn't it taking them off of that stream? And we want them. We're doing it sort of sporadically to get them to stay all the way to the end. So that's been everything I've researched so far. Either it takes them off the live, which we don't want to do because we're making money. Having them there. So we're having to do it this tedious, ridiculous way. I have somebody off camera, like literally writing them down and putting them in the pot,
Yeah.
And it seems stupid. There's got to be a way to do this more automated.
Yeah.
I think it's going to partly be, I think it's the bot. I think the bot idea is one to check out. I think that's going to be the best way, at least at the moment, to get that to work. And like I said, I mean, they do have workflows built in, by the way. They build some for you, and then you can get very complicated. So they do have a free option. Like I'd say try the free option and then see how that goes. Again, I mean, it's kind of like an email list. You still pay for like the people that are on it, regardless of if they're actually actionable per se. So, but I would check out something like that. Mentioned a Google form is also something, but that's going to send people off of your
show. I've like really just been looking and everything. Every time I think I have a solution, I'm like, it takes them off the live in order to get that, and we don't want to lose the buyer.
Well, Constant Contact has something where you can make an opt-in page, and let's say you do the bot option. The bot option gives them a link for them to add their email. Then once they have their email, you can add a button and say, hey, go back to the stream. So you'll take that URL from the screen, from your stream, and you'll put it into the button, like sort of hyperlink it. And then once they hit it, it takes them right back to the live. That is an easy way, like, to streamline. It's sort of like a funnel. So you can do that. I know Constant Contact has that option for you to do that. If you want, I could put my link in the comment, Christian, if you want to.
We'll just send the standard contact one.
So,
but I want to highlight a couple of points here. These are a couple of things that you need to consider as well for this. NLTMW, again, really good advice. Tease them to stay with a giveaway at the end of the stream. So that's something worth checking out.
That's what we're doing. But they have to give us the emails. So that's what I'm trying to automate is that part without taking them off the stream. And
so his thing was like, they go, I mean, it's the tough part. Like you get them to go fill it out and then you have to get them back. The other thing though, that Michael mentioned, is that you have to be very mindful of the countries that you're going to be reaching, regardless.
The first thing we say is sharing your email is your commitment to be on our VIP list. So they know that. I mean, it is said every single time we ask. So
So I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think that that's enough. Because depending on the country, like just because you say that, you still have to follow GDPR and all that other stuff that's in all of these. So, for example, Canada, apparently, according to Michael, you're not allowed to collect emails without consent. So you're telling them yes, but the person didn't actually check a box to say that they actually. So I understand.
Even though you're saying what you're agreeing to, and they are taking the action, that's not them consenting.
I don't think so. I mean, I think again. I mean, and the reason I say that is because I think that people will end up. I think they'll end up like. They could easily go back and say, well, I didn't, my internet connection wasn't good, or, I didn't hear the whole thing, for example.
Well, I mean, it's on a recording. So I think that I would win that one.
I think so. I mean, I'm just throwing out some advice just because, it's gotten harder and harder to do that because depending on where you're trying to do business at, people are trying not to get on different lists and whatnot. And
the person, whoever's subscribing to your email list has to have the option to unsubscribe. So are you manually sending an email out? Are you manually sending?
Because there's always an unsubscribe on every single communication. So, as soon as they go in, the welcome sequence gets automated, sent out, and then there's always an unsubscribe. So.
And, again, I mean, these are just points. I mean, this person's saying like, hey, Germany is very strict.
Yeah, they are.
Like it really depends on the country where your people are going to be at. You really want to research what the rules are.
Again,
I mean, we'll just say USA only, I guess.
And and to Michael's point as well, like verbals in some countries is a no-no. I mean, they have to actually check a box as much as it doesn't make sense. Somebody told me something versus I checked the box. They're basically the same, but it just comes down to how that country wants to enforce things. So,
Mm-hmm.
did you have a second? Was that the second question? Or was that the first one? Or
Oh gosh, I mean, it's going so long, y'all. I'll come back on another one because it'll the other one's kind of involved also. I'm just trying to. We have a great system set up, but I'm trying to automate more and more of it to make the workload less.
Yeah.
Because as they get bigger, it's becoming a lot more work on the front and back end. But I know Gage has acknowledged this a couple of times, but I will request once again, can we have a bulk upload and a bulk delete of overlays? And can we have the option to sort those overlays? The more artists, the more overlays. I've had now one with 50 people, and it is a nightmare. So
do me a favor. You tell me like exactly what these are. Tell me like, okay, what's the first request?
So these are the requests. These are all have to do with overlays, right?
Yeah.
All have to do with overlays. I would like to be able to bulk upload overlays. In other words, I've got this artist, this artist, this artist. I can bulk upload. I would like to be able to bulk delete the overlays, because when we go to a new show, I now have to delete one by one every one of those overlays and put in the new people.
Click. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. And then the last is to be able to sort them, because the larger the show, the more people. We have last minute cancellations or last minute additions. And I don't want to have a jeweler and a jeweler and a jeweler. I want to make sure that we have, ceramic artist and then this person, and, be able to move that around for last minute changes without having to scroll all the way down to get the last person and back up to get the people up here. It just makes it so much nicer to have it just loaded in the order that you're going to be showing everybody.
Awesome. So
and last thing, more people backstage.
Right now, more people backstage. We are working on that. What number do you want? Because I know we have 10, I think, right now. What number?
Only 10, but the admin takes up 3 of those, and that means you only have 7 guests. And we had 30 guests or 50 guests. It makes. I'll take as many as we can get backstage to allow everyone to log in at the top before we go live, so we know everybody's in place.
Okay, so I'll just put 50 plus. Okay, perfect. So I've made notes of that.
On screen is fine. It's the backstage that it becomes complicated with the logging in and out and making sure that this group didn't log in before this one, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. I've got all of them are noted. So
thank you.
Definitely take care of that. Okay, so let's see. Let's answer a couple more questions. I'm gonna then bring on Colin. I want to also thank Colin for being super patient. Anne Maria, thanks a lot for joining, by the way. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I'll definitely be back. I've got more things to throw out, but I wanted to remain on time today. So
and we'll be back and we'll do this again next Saturday as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much, you guys. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, so let's answer a couple questions real quick, and then we're going to bring Colin in. So let's see what we have here. So that's a suggestion. Let me actually make a note. Let me see. What other questions do you have there, Leticia?
Dimbag said, please allow us to have the camera switch on the main page so I don't have to open the dialog box to change the camera I'm using. Wouldn't they need a switcher?
They could theoretically use a switcher, but he's talking about the software actually. So
I see.
For example, if I want to change my camera, I have to click on, let's see, I have to go to cam mic settings. I have to click on camera. I have to click the drop down and then click the X to come back. So maybe you have maybe as part of the ... option, or just have something on screen maybe. So very good point. I put that in as a feature request.
Awesome.
So what other questions do you have?
Scanning through. Talk about.
Let's see. Jennifer, thanks a lot again. Thanks for joining as well. Just shoot me a private message. That'd be, and so I can learn about some of the features you had questions on. Let's see. Is it possible to improve the app so that all destinations can show all views?
Yeah. And put hashtag ask guys so we can see your questions right away. Yeah, so many comments. Thank you. Is it possible to improve the app so that all destinations can show all views?
I'm trying to understand what you mean there, I guess. So like when you have different, like I'm connected right now to YouTube and Facebook, for example. I can change the different views here. So I'm not sure exactly what the question is.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if you want to just elaborate a little bit on that, that'd be great, actually.
And Michael, he put the join link in the chat, so I
he
do
was
believe
actually
it's
here
there.
a second ago.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry.
so he was here, but then he disappeared. So
Oh, okay. Come back
you know,
on then. Oh, Michael, yeah, come back in. The same link.
okay, I just dropped that there. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's bring Colin on and let's see. I think Colin sent me a question. Okay, so YouTube channel access. Let's talk YouTube channel access. Okay, Colin,
Yes.
thank you so much for being patient. I really appreciate it.
It's so weird. I've never been backstage in a StreamYard chat before, and that's
It's different,
certainly
right?
the longest. I've been here an hour, but it's been well worth the wait. One of the streams that I've done actually has probably been one of your longest streams. I done a 7.5 hour long stream overnight because I'm in Ireland. The time the US elections were on, a bunch of us done a whole stream. So it went well, and it wouldn't have worked only for StreamYard. So thanks, guys. It's a great system. I just want to pick up firstly before I go into my question. Anna Marie's request on overlays. Can you do the exact same thing but for videos?
Yeah, sure. Let me put that in. So
everything she wanted for overlays, it would be brilliant if we could have it for videos as well.
So the video would show up on the side instead of in the middle. That's what you're saying?
No. All her like requests about deletion and stuff, all of that. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense as well, because
that's cool.
And then you want to short video.
I was just going to mention, but actually Evangelist has come back because I kind of had a feeling that was what she wanted in terms of breakdown of views per like YouTube, Facebook, so we know how many people are looking at. I think that's there already on the top, is it?
You can see, so you can see the total number of viewers, but you can't see the breakdown, for example, by is this on a Facebook page, a profile, a group, a YouTube channel, and so forth. So
cool. I'll get to my question anyway. I've kind of a few things around YouTube, but one of the things that I don't think YouTube is or StreamYard connected to YouTube is doing is what I wanted to do at the moment, where I didn't know this was a feature in YouTube until recently, but I'm currently doing a college course, and our lecturer has given me access to the YouTube channel through not by just giving me the login details, but actually just adding permission so that it appears on mine. If you need me to screen share and show exactly what I mean, I'll do that.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
But StreamYard isn't allowing me to stream to that channel.
So what level? So part of it is what level they gave you. So
I think I'm not sure, but I think it's probably editor access. So I don't know. Are you able to find? Have you a similar situation maybe there that you can find out what the different levels are? And let me see. I'll just switch the I'll switch the tab here and see if I actually.
So YouTube's got, let's see. So obviously, like, you've got admins. Let me think real quick. There's like, let's see. So there's YouTube admin access. There's creator access.
Moderator.
Moderators. I'm going to guess this is exactly the same as a Facebook page, where
you
have admin, and then someone's just a
okay, so I have editor access.
Okay,
I've just checked.
Yeah, so what I would say, so there's two things, and I got this question this week actually from someone as well, similar one. So the first thing is have them change the access level that you get. So see if they can make you an admin or whatever the level is right below the admin. The other option, I think that's also useful is if they just need to add the destinations to the StreamYard account, have them log into the dashboard and just do the adding. That way, if some people are concerned with like giving out passwords and things like that. So I would
so even though the account is mine, if I let them into my StreamYard to set it up, then I won't actually have I'll only have for the StreamYard that I can do the streams, because that they'll have set up that higher level permission, and they could keep me still as an editor, basically.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, they could do it that way. That's the easiest way, honestly. And then here's a little hack. I want to give a big shout out to Daniel Glickman. He shared this actually in our Facebook group. I put out a post on tips and tricks, and one little tip he had was if you want to have, so like for example, let's use Letitia as the example. So I work for StreamYard. I met Letitia on one of our first episodes we did.
Yes.
And so if I want to have, so here's the cool thing. So if I want to have her, for example, be able to, if I want to say like, hey, let's also broadcast this out to her Facebook group, for example, or her Facebook page or something. I can give her my StreamYard email or whatever my email address is that I use to log into StreamYard. And then she's not like I trust her, but then I give her access and she can add her channels. So therefore I have my channels, and then we're now able to broadcast to her channel as well. So the hack there is that you're able to have, for example, like your guest, if you want to have your guest share this out, sometimes they just don't want to go hit the share button. You could also set it up directly in your StreamYard broadcast so that when you're going to schedule it, you're able to reach all those different people. So that's the little hack there. Does that make sense?
Another hack is kind of that you don't need to give the email address, because now with the 6-digit code, you just give them the code, they pop into your StreamYard, they set it up. So you actually bypass, really, like, it's very secure, because you don't really need to give them anything, and then you can log them out pretty quickly or kick them out and sort out the other code to log yourself back in.
Definitely. So any other questions? I see we got a bunch of other people just joined. So
I'm sure I've loads. Your customer service guys, support team are always brilliant. I'm sure
they are.
Someone else mentioned it earlier. I wonder, do any of you guys actually get sleep? Sometimes you're always there. Like, how many of you is there?
There's quite a number of, I mean, there's I think we're a team of what do we have, 20, maybe 20 employees at the most. I mean,
but I love the way you can get someone that's supposedly high ranking on customer support. You know, I think I've had chats where I'm, oh, that's you, or that's you, or that we've chatted before. You know, it's a real family as much as anything else.
Yeah, and someone commented on one of the shows that StreamYard was doing. It's like, don't lose that family business type of environment, because you don't see that anywhere anymore.
No,
you know, in this online space. So we appreciate that.
And certainly with your new tie-up with Hopin, isn't it? I'm sure that'll continue. So.
Yeah,
all the best, really folks. I might pop on again sometime because I've loads of questions, but we'll keep it brief.
Awesome.
Cheers. Thanks very much.
And then a couple of a quick note to you. I put a private message here for everybody that's here backstage with me. So do me a favor, make sure you just reach out to me.
Yes.
Good stuff.
So awesome. Okay, so let's do this. So thank you very much for joining us, Colin. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you hopefully on next Saturday on this as well. I'm doing it again. So okay, so let's see if we got any questions.
He was great.
3 questions, and then we're gonna keep moving. Okay, so let's see what we have here. So let's see. So Tony Adventures has a question. They want to know how they can learn how to use StreamYard. So we actually have a webinar you can sign up for, and I'm going to put a link to that real quick here in the chat. So we have a webinar. You'll work with Dana and Kelsey, and so we have a webinar there. So,
yes, and someone mentioned to me privately one day, I forgot exactly what day this week was that, you know, obviously you could be a StreamYard affiliate. Like, I'm always giving out my affiliate link and stuff to StreamYard. And the thing is, a lot of times you guys don't want to give it out because then you're going to be that open person, say, well, how do you use it now? So whenever I am sending out my affiliate link and somebody signs up under it, I actually send out the playlist. Is a playlist on the StreamYard channel where they're actually showing you how to get started. And so once they watch that, they could get started within minutes after signing up on the platform, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. Yeah. And just a couple of quick notes. I mean, if you're watching, do us a favor, hit that like button. And if you want to make sure you get our videos, we got a lot of shows that we do every week, hit that subscribe button. I know Daniel Glickman does Tech Talk during the week. That's where he basically has a guest on. We're talking like they're having the person show what kind of equipment they're using, like what their kind of setups like. We also do the town hall. The town hall is on Sundays. That's Gage and Dan.
Yep.
And they share Dan Briggs, and they share what what else new with StreamYard, like whether it's a new feature we've got rolling out, or it's where if people have if they have a like, we get a lot of people that come on for feature requests and things like that. They drop those in the comments, but it's mainly to keep you abreast of what is going on at StreamYard. What have we rolled out? What are we working on? So
absolutely.
That's Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, let me see. So we got 2 more questions. Let's see. Let's see. One quick point I want to make. NLTMW makes a great point about the code. So when somebody gets, when you're like, hey, I want to have somebody sign on into my account, and maybe they're going to help me produce the show, or they're going to help me, for example, they're going to come on as a guest or things like that, or they're going to help you with whatever. Make sure. So one thing you can do is make sure you trust the person first of all.
Yes.
So the code does change frequently, so it's not the same code. But be sure you're very aware of who you bring on. So when you give them access, they still can go back into your account and whatnot. So just be mindful of that. So just don't just give it out just to be giving it out.
That's right.
Let's see. So Traveling Granny, thanks a lot for signing up for the webinar. Tell Dana and Kelsey hi. Okay, so Remy, it's your turn. I saw Remy was taking a phone call. By the way, because Remy has been on hold for quite a bit. And I want to thank also, by the way, I got Charles and Yomi and Darren, I think, and Mario as well, like waiting backstage. So I want to make sure I get you all on as well. So Remy, let's bring you on.
Hello.
So Remy, thanks a lot for joining us. Hey, how you doing?
Good, thank you. Hi guys. I just want to say this has been really bloody brilliant.
Awesome. This is so good to hear.
Honestly, I've learned so much. I've learned so much listening. I only had one really simple question, but I've learned so much. So thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Welcome.
So what's your question?
So it was just a question about lighting. I wear glasses. You can see the glare. And I was just interested in asking Letitia about angles. And I've got a big square box light thing over there. Okay. It's not on at the moment because it's just too much. But just some advice about angles of where to put lightings to reduce glare, please.
Well, I have mine going over me now. So it's pushed back and it's like it's angled over like this.
So it's going up.
Okay. Yes, it's going up and it's like angled over, going like in a curve, like horizontally. So, but I have the lighting pushed more back. So sometimes people will have their ring lights up close or their softbox up close. And, that doesn't really work well for me. And, us women of color, we have to be sort of careful with the lighting because then it can make us seem very ashy or lighter than we actually are. So I noticed you have like a orangey bluish hue. So maybe you could have like maybe an orange like screen shade over it, or what do they call it, Christian? The plastic,
a gel. So like So yeah, you can put different gels over lights. Some people put wax paper over lights. You just have to be careful. I mean, you don't want to put it directly on the light source. So give it some space.
And you can do that with the box lights. The box.
You could try that. Yeah, I mean that. Like maybe what you do is you use a fabric.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you've got for example, maybe you've got a scarf. Like I'm just come up with some things that have some different colors. You could put get a different color scarf maybe or fabric. You want to make sure that it's not too thick. So it doesn't want to. You don't want to do like green screen material thick because green screen material is very thick. But you could probably find something that's more along the lines of a silk, but it'd probably like a rayon or something maybe.
Okay.
That might be something worth testing out. Again, don't put it directly on the light. Just make sure it's something that doesn't get too hot.
We don't want no pictures of a fire now. Talk about Christian Letitia.
So, but that's the thing. They sell lights that have like gel pan. So there's two things. They sell lights that have knobs that will let you change the color. So not just the color of the light, like going from like say it's a white light. So white light can be like yellow or it can be like super bright and white. So that's one option. But then there are ones that actually have a second knob where you can change the actual color. So you could actually dial in. That's something to consider. Now, as far as your glasses go, I mean, a couple things. So you could tilt them down. So part of it's tilting down. The other thing is changing your angle, for example. That would be something worth. So like, for example, right now, if you tilt them down, it goes away. So that also might mean maybe you lower your chair. I'm just throwing out an idea. Maybe you lower your chair a little bit. Something where you're
this
not
is
out
the
of the
lowest. Like this is the lowest I go. But a new chair.
Get on the floor.
I'll get on my knees.
Filters. We talked about filters. And then also a couple other things, just like positioning the lights. So you know, just trying different ways to like light your scene.
Yeah.
I wish I had my glasses handy here. Actually, I could pull them on because I'll do this in another video, but that would be some ways. I'd also say you know, one little trick that a lot of people use, they use, I mean, you probably need your glasses, I'm guessing, to see. Some people like, you know, they get glasses without actual like lenses in them, or they change the style of the lens. So you could go with like a matte option, because like, I'm just gonna like, from what you have there, it looks like it's a glossy lens.
Yeah. I think you can get like anti-glare glasses. Actually.
You can. You can actually. Yeah.
That makes sense.
And you know, that might even be like, you know, you can go like to the Walgreens or the CVS or something like that. You know, you might even want to try
opticians here in the UK.
Well, yeah, sorry. I was like, okay, where's she at? So you may want to go also see, like, some of them you can go like, hey, I can buy a pair of prescription glasses so that it matches your prescription, but it may not have the glare that you're going to get.
I see.
So,
that's right.
So I think that would help. And
that's
we're actually right now, we're actually working on an article as well. This is funny you mentioned it, on how to actually fix, you know, the alien eyes with your glasses. So yes. So maybe I'll reach out and do me a favor, message me. Maybe I'll actually have you be my my subject actually for the article. So we can show like your before and your after. So
cool. Well, I've been here for like, I don't know, 2 hours. So I've stalked both of you and I've followed both of you on Instagram. So
thank you.
So we can do that. But no, honestly, this has been so good. Thank you so much. I've got some really useful tips from tonight. So thank you so much. And I'll let you go on to the next people.
Awesome. Do me a favor, shoot me a private message as well.
I will do.
I appreciate it. So thank you so much.
I will do. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Okay, bye. Okay, so I'm taking a couple more comments here. Let's see if we have any comments here. And then we're going to bring in Charles as well. I've got a couple more people backstage. I want to make sure I get to everyone. So let's see. We have a question. Let's see. What laptop would be good for me to edit my videos for YouTube? I mean, I'm a Mac person, so I would recommend a Mac. But you know, they're also, I mean, I'll even throw out the idea. If you want to edit videos, you can actually edit them on an iPad. So like, there's an app I use. It's called LumaFusion. It's, I think, $20. But it is a very good Final Cut for your iPad, even though Final Cut for your iPad doesn't exist. So that's an app that I use. That's a great way to actually be able to use the iPad to do some of your editing. You can use your finger. You can use a stylus, for example, you know, to quickly to work with some of the like splitting of clips and things like that. But I would definitely check that out.
Well, I have HP and HP sucks. So I would, you know, go the Mac route or use the app like Christian suggested.
Yeah. I mean, you have to, I mean, it's worth checking. I mean, again, if you're a PC user, like if you get like a Chromebook, I'll say this, you'd have to end up using like probably an online editor for a Chromebook. But if it's something that like you can physically install some apps and they're not web-based apps, I mean, that's the one challenge when you start to edit videos. YouTube has, for example, some basic ways to edit videos through their platform. However, if you do want to make elaborate things, a lot of times people are bringing in footage, and if the footage is really big footage, you need a machine that, you know, can actually process, so it can transcode the file and it can render the file as you're making adjustments to it. And so that's where that's why you do want to spend more on the laptop, but just keep that in mind.
Very true.
Okay, let me see. Oh, and then also Colin's recommending, and again, I mean, just keep this in mind. If you're an iPhone user or iPad user or Mac user, you get iMovie. And, you know, it's a good, easy way to make some edits to videos. There's also Windows Movie Maker, so lots of options there.
Yeah.
You know, and also, I mean, Colin also says like it doesn't, you don't have to have like super advanced software. So you don't need a Final Cut Pro. You could actually use HitFilm, for example, if you want to do editing. That's another good option as well. So HitFilm Express, I think. So definitely check that out. Okay, cool. So let's do this. Let's
that's a great question.
Traveling Granny also says like they're using an iPad. Yep. So you can use an iPad. You're using the Premiere Rush. You can use that. It really depends on the type of video you're putting out. Like if you're going to do something that's quick and it's template based, you can use Premiere Rush. Also, another one that I also like, and T-Mad, you're thinking along the same lines as me as well. Use KineMaster as well. That's an Android app. KineMaster is also super easy to use on Android. You can do really good editing on the mobile device. So kind of check those two out. Okay.
I made a really good intro video last night on my show in Canva.
Oh, yeah, Canva's got that as well.
I had music on it and everything, so it was cool.
Awesome. So let's do this. Let's bring on Charles. I'm not sure what Charles' question is, but I'll bring Charles on. Charles, how you doing?
Hey guys, how you doing? Can you hear me correctly?
Great sound.
Like,
perfect.
The Rode Pod mic there, I think, right? The Pod mic.
Oh, that is cool.
Rode Pod mic, and I use all systems. So,
what are you doing to bring that sound in?
Well, I use the Go XLR Pro.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So Go XLR, for those of you watching, Go XLR is an interface, an audio interface. So it's, you plug in your mics, you can do your fades, you can bring in sounds. You can also, I think you can adjust the reverb as well, I think. Right.
Sound effects. So if you want to sound different on your show, you can just do this and you sound like anything you want to sound like.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's great.
So that's the Go XLR. And then you can use the Podcaster Pro or the Rodecaster Pro. Lots of options there. So your audio sounds good. Your video is looking good as well. And I like your in-ear monitors. Are those wireless or wired, or what do you got?
Yeah, they're the cleared wire ones, so you don't look like you have headsets on. They're attached in, they're over the ears, and they're clear, so people don't see that you have these big headphones on or it's secretly inside.
And then quickly tell me, so how are you running those? Are you running them behind your, they're obviously behind your neck. Are they running down your back? And then you have an extended cable?
Yep, they're running down around the corner, and then they're plugged into the side thing. So there's no cords, no wires, nobody can see anything. It's just clear.
I gotta get one of those because these look like headphones, even though they're in.
Yeah, me too. I gotta grab what you have too.
No, looking good. So what's your question?
Nice. So it's just a couple of things that I'm looking for StreamYard. One is a timer. Okay. So when you play videos and the video is playing, I would love to see a timer on my end to know, okay, I got 10 seconds before the video stops playing before we come back live again. Okay, so when you're watching the video, you go, all right, let's go back to the commercial. Let's go to a video. You're sitting there. Can I go to the washroom? Can I come back? Can I get a drink or can I come back? Can I do something? Can I come back? So can
I go to the bathroom and come back?
Exactly. So that would be great.
Okay, so you want a timer for so this is, I'm making notes here. So you want it for the producer, right?
Yeah, for our end, so we can see it. So if we go to a commercial, excuse me, if we go to a commercial, we want to make sure that the commercial says you have 10 seconds left, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey, we're back live with the show. Thank you for coming back in.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so perfect. I just actually noted that. So that's a really good question because like you said, I mean, a lot of times, people have a run of shows, so they have here's how long the information is or how long the video is, but they don't know all of the, they don't know all. Hey, I'm exactly 30 seconds into this video. I've got 45 seconds left. So that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
And then the second one
is headlights.
Yeah. And then the other one is I would love that the videos and audio automatically download. So after every show you do, you pick where you want it to go. And you know how you have the option to download your videos or download your show? Do we have the option to say automatically download audio into this file? So after every show, it automatically.
Oh.
Okay. Yep,
yeah.
Got it. Perfect.
Yeah, because mostly after every show, you have to go back in and click.
And I forget half the time. Damn, it's been 15 days already. I missed it.
Exactly. So you just want it to automatically upload. And then people that use it for sound bites and podcasting know that their stuff is already there. They can go
Exactly.
in. They can do all that stuff.
I agree.
Great,
I like that
great
option.
questions. I've actually just submitted them right now as feature requests. So thank you very much for those. Those are very, very good ones, actually.
All right.
So,
Now, I know you have no much time, but can I just give some quick hints real quick?
Yep.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So the first one was for the opt-in. You have to have an opt-in button regardless of anybody's email. It's a must. All countries ask for it. You have to have an opt-in.
That's right. I
Number
agree.
one. Number
I agree, because the rules change from, it could change within a matter of months. So you want to just protect yourself and not get all those unsubscriptions, which is then going to put your email address into like a block or a lockdown or something.
Yeah. And then with Rennie, with her glasses, most people always think that you have to have the light in front of you. I'm using a 2-point system.
What was that? Say it again. You froze there. What was that?
Sorry, most people think that you have to have the ring light dead center in front of you.
Right.
I'm using a 2-point system. So my ring light's off to my left.
Okay.
And then my hair light is to my right back here. So they're blending together. So she won't get that ring light in her eyes because it's off to her left.
I like it.
Okay. Yep.
And then the other person wanted multiple overlays. I think most people forget in every show you do, you can make extra carts for every show.
Yep.
So what I do is I did a 3-day, 24-hour session.
Yep.
And then we just put extra overlays in each cart. So when cart 1 was done, I just moved over to cart 2, cart 3, cart 4, cart 5, and just keep using the overlays. So she doesn't have to pull up in there. She can use multiple carts for one show.
Yeah, she can actually have the name. We can change the name of, this is for Susie. This is for Rebecca. This is, so you can just, I've done that too. Yep. In the past.
So you don't have to worry about all the extra carts.
And
then the other one, somebody asked one more question for Windows. Oh, admin. He was asking about the admin for YouTube. You have to have the admin part.
Yeah.
As if you're just editor, they're allowing him to edit the videos and put like little things in it, but they're now asking him to go in live. So yeah. So I do the same thing you guys do. When people ask me about StreamYard, I try to help them as much possible because I've been on the radio for 25 years and doing
congrats.
So this is what I love to do, just like you guys. So you guys are doing an awesome job, so keep it up. So I have to give you guys a big
I need to get that.
Very cool.
Thank you, Charles.
Not a problem. So keep up the great work. And if you could just ask those things for us, it'd be great.
Fantastic. And do me a favor, just shoot me a private message.
Yeah.
So
not a problem.
Thanks a lot. Awesome. Okay. So I've got 3 more people here waiting backstage. We're going to bring them on. Everybody's still tuning in. So this is great. Remember, if you have any questions, just put #ask in the comment. So actually, let me find that. Yeah. So if you have this, just put #ask in front of your question and we'll do our best to get to it. With that, I'm going to bring on, let's see, we've got Remy came on, Colin came on, Charles came on. So Yomi is going to come on. So Yomi, how you doing?
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Hey, Yomi.
Hi. Wow, finally. I feel like, special. Well, guys, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here. I don't really have, I have a tons of questions, but it will take like 12 hours at least to answer. But I would like to give 2 of the people that came over like a little hint as well, like I don't know, a little options. Charles just said about the light. Yes, I use the 2-point light, so because I wear glasses myself, so I don't have. But for the lady, for the jewelry and the giveaways, and this is a question that I've seen in the town halls, that I've seen in the tech talks everywhere, like from StreamYard. What I normally do, because I do one every time I do my show, what I do is I create a video that I post on YouTube in my channel or in the channel of my co-host, because we put the show in either channel each time we come up. And we just send people to those videos, which is small, and this is for the giveaway, the hashtag, whatever we give the hashtag right in the show, so we know. And they go, we have a pinned comment with the link back to the stream, which it takes 5 seconds to do. And then what I do a random picker, and I do a share screen, and I do the random picker. It shows, and they see when the random picker picks whoever, you know, because I put the hashtag in the random picker so it can pick whatever person, and it only pick those hashtags, and that's it.
Yeah.
So if somebody else goes and comment not knowing what it is, because you know how people look for when you say giveaway or something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the hashtag is given right in the show, technically at the moment of the giveaway. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So people come and go, and it's easy, and you don't have to leave your own show to go check email lists or any of that. And yes, it is illegal to ask, sadly, for email addresses. And so I think that's a good way. And for my girl Jennifer, that she asked about the green screen as well. I use green screen because, as you see, I'm in my living room right now with my laptop, and I do my streams with my laptop. I have an HP, God knows what, but the camera works good because I think it's all about the lighting. And
yes, it is.
I do have very, very limited space, and I have the green screen at least 2 feet away from me, and I put the lights behind me to the sides, and I have flat lights. I sadly had to get newers, those flat ones. They're not that expensive, just because for the space sake. And then my ring light is up above, sideways a little bit, so for the glare too. But I don't cast a shadow between the lights that I put for the green screen. So that's why she flickers, because she's making shadows between the light and the green screen. So I hope it helps.
Yes, that was great.
And then just one little tip for you, by the way, your headphones are in mono, by the way. I'm not sure if you know that.
That's probably, because they're not the best. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. I just wanted to highlight that because for somebody who, so people just need to keep in mind, when you get headphones, some part of it is if it's not the right connector. So it's called TRRS. I think I talked about this on a previous episode. But when you look at the bands on the headphones, there's 2, 3, and 4
2 or
bands.
3, yeah.
And you plug that in, and they're only hitting certain parts, for example, of the connector. So, for example, if you plug the wrong headphones in, you may only hear, for example, out of one headphone and whatnot. So it doesn't matter.
Yes.
In my case, I'm not hearing her sound on either of headphones. I'm only hearing them out of one of them. So
same thing for me. I was thought it was my headphones.
I was hearing you, and I was hearing her. So just keep in mind if you're going to get headphones.
I do use microphone because of the same issue. I was using the microphone at first, and then the reverb they cost too as well when you're casting with a co-host is horrible. So yes, I advise people to get. There's a lot of inexpensive things, and because there's not that much information in Spanish about StreamYard. Actually, because StreamYard is my life. I live on StreamYard. I love you guys, and all the information you all guys give, but there's not much in Spanish. So I am switching my channel a little bit. I'm making a space just to help the Spanish community, because they do use it. They just don't know how to quite well. So, I'm trying, but it's trial and error. I always said.
This is great. Thanks a lot for popping in and sharing some tips with our viewers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, again, continue to improve your stream. So for example, it's not just about oh, hey, I'm going to buy, don't go out and buy all the equipment. Unless you've got a fantastic budget, great. But I would recommend researching what you're going to get first. Make sure it works. I'll give you an example. I've had my camera here for a couple of weeks, but I didn't have all the stuff that I needed. For example, I didn't have the camera that I have, if you plug a battery into it, it only lasts for say an hour and a half. So it wasn't going to work. So they sell something that's called a dummy battery. And so the way it works is it plugs in right now, and then it's a fake battery that goes in the device, and then it plugs into an outlet where I have more power. So you do need to make sure you have all the right equipment. Don't just go live with it just because everybody's really excited, but just don't go live without having all the right accessories that you need for the item. So for example, I need a lens, I need a camera, great. But hey, I need to make sure if I'm going to do a stream, for example, for today, I need to make sure I have the right battery. So don't short yourself just because you want to do it. Do it as best you can right now. You know, in this case, it was like, hey, I just ordered it, got it shipped to me, and then I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind.
That's right.
But Yomi, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you, guys. You'll see me again because I have a lot of questions. Thank you for the invite, guys. Bye.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye. Okay, so we got a couple more questions here, and then I think we got
she was awesome.
3 more people. So, and I love all the advice everybody's sharing, like how everybody's helping one another.
That's
don't
right.
forget, by the way, we've got the Facebook group, facebook.com/ let's see, it's groups / StreamYard community. Please do me a favor, go and join that. We've got a lot of great people there. So like people ask questions all the time. You know, we have a place where you can share your stream. So we've got a whole list of, you know, what streams people are doing. So just let us know about that. Okay, so let's run through some questions, and then we're going to bring up, I think it's Darren here. Let's see. So,
do you see the question from Stuart?
What if your router's across the room? That one, right? Is that the right one, or is there another one?
There's another one, but you can answer that one first.
Okay, so so Stuart's question: what if your router is across the room and you can't plug it into your laptop? What do you suggest or advise? So I'd honestly try to possibly change the location of your router.
That's what I said. I use Verizon, so I called them and it came last week. Yeah. And I said, just put it like on my desk, and now the cord goes into my laptop. So yeah.
That's one thing. The other thing you could also do is like you just need to get a long Ethernet run, but you don't want it to be like, you don't want to be too long. But like, for example, if it's on one side of the room, so say it's on this side and you want to run to that side, instead of running it straight across, let's run it over. For example, if you've got a ceiling you could go over. You know, you can add, for example, you can add you can use an extender, but the problem with an extender is a lot of times it will actually cut your signal in half. And as you're adding an extender, like okay, so let's say it's like if you're in the same room, you can try the speeds and see how they are, and then it just may be a matter of repositioning the router to make sure that it's sending out to the right direction. Because just remember, some routers, they do go out this way, but some are actually just one direction. So you do need to make sure you're putting in the right direction. And then also, as I mentioned, just, you know, try to run that. Try to run an Ethernet cable if you can.
Yes.
And it may be just a matter of moving the router if you can as well.
Yeah, I actually have an extra one here. I don't know how long it is, but just in case I need it, I'm like.
And here's another little tip, by the way. So you're sharing an Ethernet cable. So one thing also about Ethernet cables that you need to remember, there are different ones. There's Cat 5, Cat 5, 6, or Cat 6, for example. And so if you've got a slow older modem and you're plugging in with Cat 6, for example, which is supposedly faster, like you might not be getting the speeds that you would think you would be getting.
That's right.
Hey, I need to replace that router. So I know we got a question. I think it was backstage actually. Yeah, people were asking like, did you so when you called and asked them to move that, do they charge you for that, Letitia?
Well, I was getting some other stuff hooked up as well, but it was only $8 on my bill when I checked it. So, you know, I'll spend the $8 to look. I look amazing. The connection is good.
And here's the thing, you don't have to worry about the stuttering and freezing and things like that happens.
There you go. So I'll pay the $8.
Okay, so I got 2 more people here, and then let's answer a couple more questions. So let's see. There's this question about a router. Let's see. What else do we have here? How do you pin comments on the screen like I'm doing right now?
Good question.
Let me actually share my screen. Let me see.
And do you mean like in YouTube, like or in Facebook? Because if that's the case, you just hit the comment and hit pin. But yeah, Christian's going to show you how to do it here on StreamYard.
You're going to see my StreamYard dashboard. So how do we go about pinning the comments? So it's very simple, actually. So I'm going to the comments section here, and then I'm simply just going to click on, for example, if I want to bring up your comment, I'm just going to click on show. And as you can see, it's going to show here on screen. And then I can easily click to move and whatnot as well. So here's another question and so forth. So lots of questions. So like, for example, yeah.
Go ahead, Christian. I have a suggestion. Once you're done, I'll say it.
Suggestion for what part?
I was wondering if maybe they could add something like where the comments are going automatically flowing. Like you see how it's like for me, I mean, you guys can't see it as the attendees, but the comments are just going. And can it be an option for the comments to just be on the screen and it's just going? And if you want, you could pin one of the comments and it'll show up under us, but on the side, the comments would just be going up on the screen.
Okay, so that's a good. So automatically show comments on screen. Okay, great idea. And
yeah.
Then, also in regards to comments, the ability to pin a comment, right?
No, that was just ongoing comments. I'm sorry, I was answering an NLT's question. No, that was just a one-time $8 fee. That's all. Just for, I guess it's for the I got to ask them for an extra cord and also for them to move it. So, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And then just keep in mind, like for Ethernet, for example, if you need an Ethernet cable, you can go on Amazon and just buy that. Just remember, chances are sometimes they'll give it to you for free. Sometimes they'll charge you a couple of dollars, your internet provider, but some of them also will mark up that cable. So just, maybe ask them, hey, what's the charge? And if they tell you like, hey, it's a 3-foot cable for like $25, I can get a lot more cable on, Amazon or Better Cables or something like that. There's a site called bettercables, I think .com.
Yeah.
Make good cables. So,
yep. And sometimes if you're nice to your technician guy, he'll just give you like, here, it's off my truck.
And then the other question, let's see. So, let's see. Let me see if there's any other questions at the moment.
Yeah, let's see.
Received an email saying we added 2 new animations on StreamYard. Okay. So actually, let me do that one real quick.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'll show you how this works. Okay.
So,
so one feature that we added recently, and by the way, Darren and Mario, we're going to bring you guys in here just in a couple minutes. We added some new animations and some different themes to your StreamYard broadcast. So if I go over to the brand section, and I'm going to go to the theme section here, okay, you're going to have the ability, like you'll see this change. For example, I can now switch between some of these different themes. So as you can see, I think we started out with the default option, and then we moved to minimal, and then we've added, I think, bubble, and there's a transition obviously associated with it, and there's also block. So we've got some different options there. I personally, I'm sticking with the bubble.
Me too.
But that's how that feature works. So great question. Okay. Let me see. And by the way, Michael makes another good point, by the way, about this. The only issue with continuous comments, people, they can be a troll. And yeah, that is the one downside is like, hey, if you allow comments, you get everything without really the time to necessarily filter it out.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna bring on Darren, and then we've got a giveaway to wrap things up. So Darren, how you doing?
Hi everybody. Really good. Thanks for having me on. Thank you for doing all the shows and all the training. I always tune in and always pick up something that I didn't know before. So quite enjoying that. I'm begging you guys to bring the camera switch to the front of the screen so that I don't have to hit the camera mic button and then pick a new camera whenever I want to change a scene. Because when it comes to showing things off hobby channels, I have to hit that cam mic button, open up that dialog box, find the camera, pick the new camera, switch it, and then close it. And I've seen in other similar softwares where that was brought right up front, and I thought, gee, I wish I had that in StreamYards, because like I say, having multiple cameras is great. I quite enjoy it. I know you can join them in as you give it the link and sign it in, but that's not quite the same. I'm actually using OBS as a virtual cam to make the other thing happen here, and this really gives me flexibility. I can do all kinds of stuff, putting a couple of different things together. And I'm
nice.
A new user, but I'm a power user. I've got voice meter banana. I've got a little bit more of a microphone. I have a lot of equipment from other parts of my life I decided to bring together here. And again, how this gets deployed is being shaped a lot by the things I learned from all you all. So I really do appreciate that for sure.
Fantastic. Yeah. So just to answer your question, so I made notes about that feature. I have submitted it. So thank you very much for the camera option idea. I think that makes a lot of sense. So as far as cameras, so like if you want to bring different cameras in, there's a couple different ways to do this. One of those is to use, for example, and that's quite the setup, by the way.
Wow.
Quite the setup. Wow.
That's nice.
That's very nice, actually.
I make sure I see the chat and everything else. I'm using the Irian cam, and I'm using a Samsung S8 that you're looking at right now, over.
So okay, so you got okay.
S5,
So walk.
that's doing the work there.
So, okay,
I have
let's
another
walk
camera up there.
Let's walk left to right. So go back to the left. What do you got? So to the left.
Okay, let's do the whole tour.
Okay, so we got.
Okay, so we start off with a Roland proper monitor speaker, an S5 and a phone clip, giving me one angle.
Okay,
one monitor, 24 inches turned right for the chat. Double 19s here in the middle for what I see on YouTube and what I'm actually doing through StreamYards and OBS and that. Okay. Over here, here's the audio with actually a monitor on my, this is the Irian camera. These are four, you can have 4 wireless old Android phones working for you with this Irian software. Mm-hmm. This next to it is the software for my Steinberg UR44 audio interface, and then Voicemeeter Banana taking care of all the routing. That's the whole setup right there. And if I was to walk you back just a little bit, and thanks to Irian.
Yes. I got to go back to the guitar store.
Okay, so a couple things I want to mention here. So he's got overhead lights. So as you can see, so he's putting those lights above. So as you can see, this is quite a professional setup, by the way.
Yes.
Light. So he's got that one light, the flashing one. So as you could see, that was blinking off the background. And then he has the other ones coming down. So they're lighting, for example, his desk. And the reason he's doing that is because there's a camera up there. And the reason he's putting a camera up there is so that he can film a top-down view of his desk. And yes, you can go and you can buy, for example, there are mounts. So there's a mount, like, for example, for my camera here, there's a mount that goes up and then it actually has a telescoping arm so it can come out over my desk if I want to. But right now it's literally just facing me. But these are some really cool.
That's
the iClip, and it cost a lot. It was more expensive than I wanted something like that to cost. But I took a couple of, I took one 12-inch metal ruler and I cut it in half and I bent it to make that happen so I could hang the camera below. So that way when I got, like right now I've got the screen turned upside down, but I could turn the screen the other way around and then view what I'm shooting from the top. Anyway. This is all inspired by all you guys anyway.
This is really good. So do me a favor, what's the name of the camera?
IRIUN cam. IRIUN, Irian.
Okay. Got it.
Irian
webcam.
Pop that back over to here.
Cool. Very cool, actually.
Switch the camera back to OBS just for fun. Here I am.
Yeah, no, this is good. No, this is one way to set things up. Now, for someone who wants to go let's say you want to have multiple cameras, and you don't want to use OBS, or you don't want to have, like, if you've got smartphones lying around, use them. One thing you can do with those smartphones is, as you could see from Darren here, what he did on the left side where he had that one camera, he has a different camera angle. He can send his StreamYard link to that camera. So the person can open that, and then what will happen is that person will show up as a camera that you can bring on and off. So that's a second way to do it. Third way, the ATEM Mini switcher, as I mentioned that one earlier, as I showed you guys how that worked. I plugged in HDMI cameras, for example.
All your cameras have to be HDMI, though, with that A10. I looked at that, and I thought it was awesome, but that's a professional level, a higher level even than this, and that those HDMI cameras, each and every one of them is going to cost, a fair bit of money, whereas this one, you've got old phones laying around. You can do a multi-camera shoot if you want, and if you have only one phone laying around, you're in the game. Start streaming, start enjoying, use your 20 hours of free StreamYards every month. Get used to it. And then you'll have something to do. You'll be able to, you'll have it all worked out. And when you're, paying for it afterwards, you've already worked out all the bugs. This 20 hours you give us, thank you so much for that. That's so generous of you guys. You don't have to give this thing away. It's well worth the dollars people pay.
That's right.
Thank you very much. And by the way, do me a favor. When you're finished here, just send me a private message. I want to chat more about your setup and whatnot. So thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was real good.
Let me see what else.
Hi from Canada. Happy 21.
Fantastic. This is
This
awesome.
guy.
Send me a private message. So thanks. Let's see. And a couple other good points here. So NL TMW.
Make that thumbnail.
Thumbnail.
If you want to take screenshots, you get like 5. Like this is like awesome YouTube thumbnails right now. Like,
you always got to make that thumbnail.
No, it makes a lot of sense. Actually, it makes a whole lot of sense. So,
Yes.
But yeah, no, this is pretty awesome actually.
This is what we do. Dimebag Darren Lowe is the channel on YouTube, and I often throw open a panel that is just for fun, just for chatting, and somebody asked this. I have so many regulars that they're all mods. So go ahead and try to pull something off in my channel. That'll be a one-timer. I have 10, 20 mods that will jump on you.
That's
immediately.
right.
Everybody who's regular becomes a mod.
Yeah,
Boom.
so for those of you who are afraid to have the live chat going, get you some moderators. Your moderators will delete those comments right away. It won't even show up on the replay.
Yeah.
Good.
Very true.
My very first stream, though, I had a stream crasher. I didn't know there would be such a thing. I threw up the link, and a gentleman joined that I didn't recognize, and he started saying vile things. So watch out for that. Be ready, because you throw a link up, people can just jump in and, you see them. You don't know. You've never seen any of your people before. So, hey, that could be one of my person. I hit him. Oh, my God, the things he said. I'm like, oh, well, let's get rid of him. Sorry, everyone. And that will be edited out afterwards. By the way, I hate the YouTube editor. Edit and what? Come back in an hour or two and the edit will be done? Come on. There's a video editor in Windows. Use that. That works much better.
Yes. I just subscribed to your channel.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Woohoo! I'm almost at 250, folks. It's small, but it's me, and I love it. Thank
That's
you,
right,
everyone.
all the way.
I think you might have taken me to 250. Did you?
I probably did. I think I did. I saw the number. It was 249.
I am that close. Oh wow! Let's just
keep it up.
249. Oh, it's almost. Oh, I feel a little bit of anticipation. Ooh, I might have just made a mess.
Thanks a lot. No, seriously, thanks a lot for joining. And like I said, just do me a favor, shoot me a
How do I DM you through?
Just
what?
Through Facebook or something, wherever. Probably Facebook.
I'll try the Facebook. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks. Fantastic. This is really good. I mean, this is like awesome. So, let me go through the questions real quick, and then
we are a community, honey. Yes.
So, no more questions at the moment, actually, I guess. So, Mario, we're going to bring you on. I know Mario tried to get on the show last week, and I think he was having like I think maybe had no power went out or something. But so we're going to bring Mario on, and then we're going to wrap up the show. Actually, we've got a fun little giveaway, by the way, so keep sticking around. So
stick around.
Mario, thanks a lot.
Hi.
How you doing?
How are you?
Good.
I'm good.
What can we help you with?
I was actually wondering about other feature that, like, you can see your Wi-Fi speed, maybe.
Wi-Fi speed. Okay, good one. I would say so. Speedtest.net is going to be the best option. That's what most people use. They go to speedtest.net. You can find your uploads and your download speeds. And then what you're going to want to do there is you're not going to want to. The download speed is going to be good. The upload speed is what you want to focus on. Usually about 4 megabits per second up is what you want. Again, you also want to plug into Ethernet. So 4 megabits per second is the minimum you'd want. Because keep in mind, like so if you're bringing on guests, for example, like granted, we handle a lot of that so that when you're doing your stream, it's being processed on our end. We help to kind of alleviate the need to have super expensive equipment, but you want to keep in mind what your speeds are. Because, for example, all this stuff kind of works together. So let's say it's your laptop, and let's say it's your internet speed and the resolution you're streaming at. So if I'm streaming at 1080p, for example, and I don't have enough internet speed, then my show might struggle. And then when I bring on a guest, for example, you can run into even further complications because of that. So your computer's chugging along, doing the best it can. But you want to make sure you have enough bandwidth there. So 4 megabits per second is usually the best to get.
Yeah.
Help?
Because yes, thanks. And then because I also do interviews, so that's why I'm asking about the streaming. Well, the Wi-Fi speed.
Yeah, I mean the speeds. The key thing you're going to do with the speeds, I mean, it's to check speedtest.net, see what your upload speeds are, see what your download speeds are, and then also I'd say like you may want to try if you find that it's like getting really slow, then maybe what you want to do is you want to maybe lower your resolution. Maybe you're trying to stream too high, so just something to consider.
Yeah.
So, does that help?
All right. Yeah, thanks.
And we'll have an article as well, by the way, on just on speeds overall, because it's a question that people have. I know quite a bit. So I want to know, as far as speeds, like, well, what's the optimal speed, and so forth. So, okay.
Yeah, that's all actually.
Fantastic. So, thanks a lot for joining us, by the way. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yes. And
So,
congrats, Darren, on your 250 subs now. Awesome.
that is really good. Yeah. I mean, and that's a tough thing. I mean, like one thing to keep in mind when you're getting subs, I mean, just make sure that you're, it's something you have to work at. Like, for example, don't just assume somebody's going to subscribe to your channel. You have to also have prompts, for example, throughout the channel. And like, I'll give you a quick example here. I've got, for example, I created an overlay. So I have an overlay here that pops up and says, hey, like and subscribe. So like, if you're watching our video on YouTube, like it and subscribe to the channel. That way you're gonna get notified about it. But you want to have various prompts throughout the video. Don't just assume, okay, people are watching and they're going to tune in.
Yeah.
You have to be telling them, and this is the thing where like, if you have an email list, same exact thing. If you have an email list, go and tell your email subscribers, tell them, like, hey, I have this particular, like I had this show or I had this YouTube channel. We wouldn't have ever known about it. And you want to make sure you do it sort of in an organic way. Also, don't just like dump it on people. Like, for example, if you're going to join us on screen, for example, like, don't just like, hey, oh, I'm please go subscribe to my channel. Like, provide some value, and then do the ask at some point, and make sure that it's also something that like the channels usually allow. It's not about just going on somebody's channel and like, oh, I'm going to ask you for this audience to subscribe, and I'm going to ask for that one to subscribe. It does kind of get old sometimes. So
yeah,
keep that in mind. Let me see. I think we have another question here, right? So let's see. And by the way, Letitia said, sorry, Letitia, USA Live Stream TV. Letitia, love the way you put your makeup smile.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Thank
let's
you,
see.
thank you.
Let me find this question. Okay, so question real quick from Lavelle. I stream my show on 3 platforms. Facebook page, so a Facebook profile. Let me rephrase that. So a Facebook personal page is called a Facebook profile. Facebook business page, my business is a Facebook page. That's where somebody can follow the page. And then my business YouTube channel. Okay, great. The comments don't come through on StreamYard from all the pages. Let me think here. First off, you want to, I'm not sure which pages you're referring to, if which don't come through. But I would recommend, for starters, maybe what you need to do is deauthorize your accounts. So I'd say disconnect your Facebook accounts and your YouTube channel and then bring them back in. That may fix the issue. And again, if you happen to have that issue also, Colin actually is recommending that it could be a privacy setting as well. Very good point.
Yep.
Could be one of your privacy settings. So go into Facebook. Let me see if I can actually find the link. So Facebook got a privacy setting. I think it's facebook.com/settings. I know there's a private. So if you go to facebook.com/settings, actually here, I'll drop the link so you can check your privacy here. Cool.
Yeah,
So,
it is important that you make sure you go back into your settings. Even for me, when I was scheduling StreamYard to notify people when I'm about to go live, that my time zone was off. So it was really, I had to go into Facebook and make sure it was my exact time zone too. So I know someone had that question last week, I think, that I missed to ask.
These are all good questions, all very good questions. Okay, so Michael, I'll bring you on in a second real quick. Just let me answer these last couple of questions here. So again, I mean, if you have a problem getting things to connect correctly, please reach out to support. Again, we have a fantastic team, so reach out to our support team. So you can do that here. Let's see. A couple other things actually. So Darren, actually, I do have a question. You asked, and we'll chat about this one offline. But you're asking about using a Facebook portal as a touch finger control service. So that's interesting. Actually, I want to chat more about that.
Yeah, that's a good.
And then
I want to put that too.
I got another question here from USA Livestream TV reactions for you, gadgets and things. I'm not sure if that's the whole name, but the overlays that I'm using for StreamYard. So yes, so those are, so like if it's this one, for example, I've got the intro thumbnail that I use. That's something that I created outside of StreamYard. If it's the subscribe option, I also created that outside of StreamYard. And then if it's also this one as well, those are all created outside of StreamYard. But remember, you can always create them and bring them back in. The other thing also, we're working on trying to bring more overlays for you all. So if you have specific overlays, like just let us know and we'll work to roll out some overlays that you all can use.
Yeah.
So we can get those out to you all. So thanks a lot for that comment.
Awesome.
Okay. So let's bring on Michael, and then I got one other person here. I'm not sure who that is, but let's bring Michael on. Michael, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing pretty good. I want to see this fish tank you got going on here.
Yes.
That's cool.
So that's pretty cool. Are you using OBS? What are you using?
Oh yeah. I'm a huge OBS. That's what I have a community where that's what we teach. We teach how to do all this live streaming, all this extra stuff. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 100%. But watch I got some videos shows you on how to use StreamYard and how to use some of these things. So yeah, so I can add stuff like this. It's really kind of cool and a lot of fun.
That is cool.
Yeah, I have a great time with it. I do a lot of stuff, and that's what I loved watching Darren watching his setup, because I have a setup very, very similar. I have 5 monitors. I have a Shure microphone like you do, and all that kind of stuff and everything. So I just don't have it where I can show it right now. But yeah, it's awesome fun.
Fantastic. So yeah, that's a really, I want to chat more with you about that background.
Yeah, that is cool.
Talk offline for that. So very cool. Did you have a specific question? I doubt you have questions, but any?
I don't have questions, but I'm always helping StreamYard people, and I'm willing to help. I mean, just like you guys, just what you're doing. I love what you're doing. I know that.
Thank you.
I just wanted to tell you, Christian, especially because I've had you on, and nothing. I mean, I just know Christian. Christian, he's been on my show. You know what I'm saying? He's been on my show. But anytime I leave a comment out there, I'm not trying to shoot you guys down. All I'm trying to do is help people understand. There's one thing, every job that I've ever had, 20 years or 30 years, I've been either a trainer or and been involved that way. So I like to break things down. We tend to say things, but we forget about, hey, wait a minute, what about these things? Oh yeah, you can have sound. Wait a minute, before you tell them, make sure you have some of these things. We're not lawyers. We don't know what the right answer is, but we don't want them getting their channels shut down and things like that. So I always, whenever I think something through, I'm not challenging you guys. What I just wanted to make sure and tell you guys, all I'm doing is trying to help out. So
yeah,
I hope you don't ever take it that way. That's the only way that I mean, because you're like, oh, I just taught this, and you could take offense or something. Say, man, why is he doing that? It's always opening your eyes to something different.
That's right. And people are watching from all over the world. So like somebody mentioned, the rules that are here in the US are maybe way different than any other place. So it's good that you guys do chime in, because that's me and Christian was talking about that before we went live. That's what we want. So you're great. Yeah.
Well, and NLTMW, never let the machines win. That's what his name is Mike. He's actually a community member of mine in my paid for community. And he's from Canada. So he's a great resource to have in there. He also uses all the iPhone stuff that I don't use and iPad and all. He's all kind of like you, Christian, all Mac, and I'm all PC. So that's a lot of time he adds a lot to the community.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's great to have those resources and think things through all the way through.
That's
there
right.
You go. There's Mike. He's putting a nice comment up there. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. But yeah, come try it out. I mean, I would love to have people in the community, but I'm not trying to sell myself either. I want to help people. I'm out there to help people. So if you have questions, reach out to me on my YouTube videos, anything like that. just ask me questions. I want people to be successful. Like you, Letitia, like you said earlier, just get out there.
Yeah.
Just get out, just get out there. Go do it. Right. I mean,
that's right.
Yeah, you have to break the ice sometime.
Yep.
My thing is, we have one of the biggest advantages in the world, and I'm going to be on a show. I'm a guest on a show on Monday. It's Tech for Seniors. We're talking to seniors, and I'm talking live streaming.
Yeah.
About for tech. Why would a senior, the older people that go to this Tech for Seniors group, why would they even want to live stream? And my thing is, we have such a gift. We could, if you live stream, and let's say you have veterans, or let's say you have somebody who has a amazing train set or something, or is a huge fan of planes, or has all this kind of stuff. It's important to live stream that, get that out. There's so much junk out there that these kids and grandkids and all this kind of stuff need to see, have a YouTube video that they can come back to one day and say, this is what my grandfather did. That's what's important. And that's what I'm going to show and talk about on the show. So
that is amazing. Y'all
I'm
come
excited.
with a higher level of wisdom that people need to listen to. So I'm glad that you're doing something like that. I will be tuned in. Yeah.
Thank you. I love it. I mean, I really do. I'm into it. And I can, here, let me just change a couple of things so I can throw something out.
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
How about Game of
That
Thrones?
is my
Let's
show.
throw some thrones out there.
I don't know. I like the aquarium. Actually.
You like that better? Okay. I can do that. I can do that.
I've seen this one before. So
I love the fish tank.
My channel is youtube.com/Michael Daniels. It's that simple. So,
that's fantastic. I mean, I like this. I mean, so Michael, you and I are going to talk offline as well. We're going to work on some things. So,
okay. Christian, I love what you do. And I've created many help videos, and I very detail explain basic, very, so it's very thorough too. So if you want to see, one of my most popular videos is the one for StreamYard versus paid versus not paid. So you can see the comparison of the two. It really has helped a lot of people, and that's all I want to do is help people. That's all I care about.
Thanks a lot for again popping in and joining us.
Yeah, sorry I didn't have any questions though. So.
All right.
I was like, what questions are you gonna ask me? We talked about it.
Christian was ready. He was like,
he was. So. No, but I just love the energy you give, and I love what you're doing. I think it's important that you do this kind of stuff. I think it's important that this stuff, and it's great to have a company that's doing this kind of stuff and putting this out, doing all the videos and doing that kind of stuff, because too many people aren't right now. There's so much bad out there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely.
He's right.
Awesome. So I'm gonna get back. I got a couple more questions I got to get to.
I just subscribed, Michael. I just subscribed to your channel.
Thank you very much, Letitia. I appreciate it.
Okay, so a couple more questions here, and then we're gonna do a quick giveaway. Actually, so
yes, I'm ready.
I'm gonna let you go ahead and you're gonna handle the giveaway today.
Yep, I got my app now. So
let me go through what we got here. So, Stacy, there are no silly questions. I mean, if you don't want to come on, I mean, no problem. If you have questions, just drop them in the comments here. And as I mentioned earlier, there's also the StreamYard Facebook group as well. You can join that. We'd love to have you join that, and you can ask your questions there. You can ask them there as well. So no worries there. And don't forget, I do this next Saturday as well, same exact time. So if you get, if you're like, hey, I need, I want to build up my confidence or whatever, fantastic. Just join us.
That's right. Powerful people ask powerful questions.
So Patty Pennington has a question. I'm doing ministry to pre-recorded. Should I record it? I think you're asking, should you record it and put it in StreamYard? I'm not exactly sure if that's the exact question you're asking, but here's what I would do. So you have different ways to do this. So for starters, if you're going to do pre-recorded video, some people will use an external program and then bring it into StreamYard. If you go that route, you can. We have video limitations of 200 megabytes, 20 minutes or 20 minutes. You can also bring the video into a Google browser tab. So if you put it in Google Chrome, you can use the share function, the share screen option at the bottom. That'll let you bring the video in. Just remember, when you do share a tab, there's a box at the bottom that says share audio. If you're going to play video, do that. And then the other option is if you want to take it and use it for something else. So you can choose to live stream directly to like, Facebook and like, let's say it's YouTube, for example, you can do that. The other option you could do also is just to record it in your StreamYard dashboard and then download it and repurpose it and use it for different things. So people, they might use it that way as well. So that hopefully answers your question. Let's see. Ernesto has a question. When I put on air, by the way, Morgan, I'll bring you in here in a second. When I put you on air, a video, the mic is muted and can't speak off air with my guest. What's your recommendation? So it's not designed for you to be able to speak to a guest, like verbally speak. So that's where I would use, like we mentioned this earlier, I'd recommend using the private chat, for example. That would be a good option as well to communicate back and forth with that guest. It's not designed to actually be verbally speaking with them. Now, the other thing that some people will do is they'll have an open mic or an open line on a phone or something like that and be able to talk to the person. So that's another option. Is you could, for example, you could put one earphone has the sound, for example, for this, and the other one is something else. So you can go that route as well.
That's right.
Mellow Gold has a question. Can we have copy, setup, and description on previous videos to new scheduled videos? Let me actually make a note of that real quick.
Yeah.
So I think you're asking, can you... So you want to be able to copy the description, setup. Yeah. So basically you want to be able to copy the setup, including description, title.
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. As I reread it, I was like, oh, that would be good.
So
yeah,
I just submitted that as a feature request. Thank you very much for that. Let me see, what other questions do we have here? Chica, I'm gonna work with Michael on that virtual background, so we can get that documented for you all. It's pretty easy to use OBS, but yeah, so you bring in the camera via OBS and then bring that into StreamYard. So it's like you're combining other things in OBS. Like OBS, you're using chroma keying, so you're removing the green screen background, replacing it with, in his case, the fish or an image or whatever, and then
I love that
into StreamYard. We'll make sure we detail that. Let me see what else. So David Russell, a good suggestion here. Let me just make some notes. So you want the ability to have the bubbles show social media. So that's a good one. Social media or podcast links and whatnot. So I think you're asking, is there a way to have a bubble series for social media? Let's see. I think that's what you're asking, but if not, let me know.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me think. And then,
I mean, you could probably do an overlay that shows all your, like, it will have like the Twitter icon and it'll be like at whatever your handle is. Is that, if that's answers your question?
Okay, so I'm gonna bring Morgan on real quick, and then we're gonna do a giveaway here. So for everybody, we got quite a few people still watching, by the way. This is awesome. Okay, so Morgan, thanks for joining us, by the way.
Thanks for having me up. I appreciate it.
So tell us, so who are you? What do you do? And what's your question?
My name's Stacy Morgan.
Okay.
I trying to do YouTube. This here is the YouTube wall.
Okay.
I started YouTube. I don't know. I guess I can keep it cool. Try to keep it quick. I don't even know really where to start. I started YouTube 2.5 years ago with zero computer skills. I still pretty much have zero computer skills, but what I learned by the time I hit 35 subscribers was that it's not about the views and it's not about the subscribers. In my eyes, it's who you know. So I told my community at 35 subscribers that as soon as I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm stopping, because you guys are all I care about, because the views and the subscribers will come after you build a foundation.
That's right.
So I've stuck this whole time with my 1,000 subscribers, and I went through each and every one of them, and I found the leaders of the ones that they all look up to, you know, like just all these big guys. There's D Nimmon. You can't see a lot of these names, but between D Nimmon and Mr. Beast and the LA Beast, and so basically I make championship title belts, and I call the YouTube Wall family YouTube Wall champions. And
cool.
Yeah, I actually make really normal size belts made out of aluminum and leather.
Hold on, is that a YouTube belt? That's really cool.
That is dope.
This is one of the cheaper ones, but I've sent about 20 around the world. D. Niman has one coming, but I'm waiting for him to get back to Thailand, and I'm about to put Mr. Beast. Like I said, last week I won the Mr. Beast contest of 10 grand, 10,000.
Very cool.
So he DM'd me and I told him, dude, can you watch me? I'm going to give away half of your money, put smiles on people's faces. So
Awesome.
basically how I've done my channel,
Yeah.
I've kind of got in touch with them. I said, don't worry about it. Don't come and see me. Just, you know who I am. That's all good. We'll connect in the future. So now I have to get all these champions together because I've tapped into something. I've connected with the arm wrestling community, like real professional arm wrestlers, like strongest people, men and women in the world. And I'm doing a collaboration with them, rock, paper, scissors, arm wrestling, rock, paper, scissors. So that's where these belts are coming in. These are going to be the titles for the champions.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I want to try to get all these people connected so that we can reach out to the arm wrestling community. So my question is, should I start by doing live streams, or should I just do multiple videos calling out each of one of my champions to come and get connected back to the wall? Because I haven't pressured them to stay with me. I was like, you know my name, great. Here's your belt. You're a champion. I'll see you someday soon.
Yeah.
And now that day is yesterday, and I don't really know where to go from here because I'm not very good at the live streams, or I can't even really edit. Tell you the truth, and everybody knows this about me. Every one of my champions, they all know I'm kind of YouTube slow. Because I wasn't worried about the views, and I was worried about connecting with each and every one of them and see who each and every one of them was watching, who they look up to. And then I reach out to those big guys and I put them on the wall and call them. Because each one of these people are a leader of their own community, like from hot peppers to comedy to, on and on and on. And I need to bring them together so I can reach out to this arm wrestling community so that I can start giving out this $5 grand of Mr. Beast's money back to the community.
So, I mean, I'll give some advice real quick here, and let's see what everyone else. Let's see, Letitia, if you have any advice you want to share as well, or if anyone who's watching, if you have comments on this. I think I love the initiative. I think that you need to keep pushing forward and connecting with other people, because the thing I really like that what you're sharing and what you're saying is that everybody has a unique story and everybody's really good. So if I gather this, based on what you said, everybody has a unique story. Everybody has something unique that they are really good at. And what you're doing is highlighting that. And I really like that, because you're not making it about like, oh, hey, let me try to get money out of people, like, and not give them something. For example, like what you're doing is you're going the other route, which is, building relationships. And that's how you're going to move the fastest. I would say, I mean, one, if you don't have honestly, if you don't have a blog, I would consider setting up a blog, and sort of documenting each of the people that's like, for example, you could take, Mr. Beast, for example, you could take, that could become a page on your site. Here's who he is. Here's why you gave the belt, for example. Does this make sense? And then if you have if there's a video, maybe you can do a one-on-one interview with people. That's where you can do a quick interview with them. It could be a 5-minute interview with Mr. Beast. And that's where you talk to who are they? How did they get started? All that sort of stuff. And then why you're doing your part versus going the other route, which is, that a lot of people do. They go and they're just trying to be, in it just for themselves. And I like the fact that they're giving back. So I think that's really great.
That's amazing.
What would you share, Letitia?
I mean, that's what you're doing is true reciprocity. Is that that underlying rule of you building up your community and things like that. And to answer your question about should you go live? Yeah. I mean, whether it be a once a week show or twice a week show, where you actually just sharing all this, and you're going to get more people coming into your community as well. So yeah, I do think you should, try to go live every now and again.
Don't get me wrong. I know the views and the subscribers are important, but like I said, it's about building a foundation.
Yeah, you have a purpose. Yeah.
And I know that's in the back of my head because D. Nimmons told me many times, you're swimming upstream without a paddle, buddy, because I'm doing it backwards from every other YouTuber. But it's the plan in my head for the last 2.5 years, and now it's
but your
I have to
pivot
connect
is
them.
going to be, your momentum is going to be massive once you do reach that plateau where you're going to get that push. Yours is, you're going to actually be propelling forward than everybody else who is doing it the way that, you know, who is doing it in a way to where they're doing it in a way where they're just trying to just get their content out there and make money. Like you're trying to build, like you said, that foundation, which is key.
Yeah, like last thing I'm doing is asking for money from anybody.
Yeah.
I'm actually, like, I've sent, like I said, about 15 leather aluminum YouTube title belts out around the world. They cost me $200 to make, plus shipping's between 40 and $100 to get to the States and Australia.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not about the money. Eventually, it would be nice, but it eventually is almost time. So I need to get my channel rocking. I think it's dead. I've been stuck at 1,200 subscribers for about 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
And I know that was going to happen because I'm only focusing on the people that were my first subscribers.
Yeah.
So I'm having trouble reaching out to new people. I think my channel might be dead, other than the people that know it, that have belts. And yeah, sorry for confusing you.
No. I think part of it, you know, somebody makes a really good comment here. They say, hey, you know, you're actually doing really well. I mean, 1,200, 1,300 subscribers, that's very good. I mean,
that's really good.
I had my first 1,000 subscribers in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been riding 1,000 for over 2 years.
Well, and here's the thing. It's hard to get the subscribers, but the thing you have to do is you need to keep pushing forward. Like, you know, if you're getting, like, if you notice your subscribers are plateauing, for example, or they're not growing, look at your analytics. Like, I'm going to say this, I'll say this again. Look at your analytics. Look at your analytics and see, okay, where are people viewing from? And again, this is live streaming specific. If it's a YouTube video, look at where people are tuning in from. Are they watching from mobile? How much time are they watching, for example? Look at, like, what words you're actually showing up for like search. What, you know, are there certain terms? What are your most popular videos? And you may need to then pivot off of that. Like, if you're noticing, well, hey, I got this one video and it's doing really well, keep pivoting. Pivot onto something else. Like, if you find something that, like, if you're like, hey, none of my videos are getting any views, check to see what you're doing. Like, maybe there, you know, are things that you're doing.
My thumbnails suck, and I don't tag, and I've never done any of that stuff. You know,
so, I mean, here's the thing. Feel free to reach out to me directly. I mean, like, on the channel. There's you know, the thing is, I mentioned this earlier on the show, and it was the fact that, like, if you're doing YouTube Live, you want to also do the other part of it. It's not just going live, it's also optimizing that video. And I can actually help you with the optimization part. It's pretty easy, but making sure that you're optimizing each and every video that you're doing so that you can get the maximum exposure. You know, again, if you just go live and you aren't doing the other stuff, you're relying on your 1,200 subscribers to see it. But you need to be doing more than that to get in front of people, to get that channel growing.
I know.
Right.
And it's not saying, oh, hey, now you have to do like 10 other things. It just needs to be a process that you follow. You know, every single live video you do, go in and go through the YouTube meta and add the title, the description, the tags, the playlist, you know, and do that for every video. And then then look at your numbers. Oh, well, hey, this video, I changed something on. I changed the tag. I'm ranking for this video, you know, or like versus ones that aren't actually using any of the tags. Like, look at the analytics. They'll tell you what you need to do.
That's right.
This is awesome. So
learn how to read them.
No, it's super. Like I said, super easy. Reach out to me. I'm happy to answer your questions. So
I would love to. You know, I'll even pay for some help if that's what it takes, because I need to get going. Like D. Niman told me a couple of times, look at your videos, buddy. If you optimize your videos, your videos would have been viral. If not on YouTube, at least in the community, without a doubt. So I need to smarten up and get YouTube smarter on the editing.
I will say you're on the right path.
You got to give yourself more credit, for real, because you're doing great things. You really, really are. Give yourself more credit.
So, But yeah, do me a favor. If you have other questions, feel free to join us next Saturday, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be on, answering questions and helping everyone. So thanks a lot for joining.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Very welcome. Okay, so we've had a really good. I think we had a really good show. I mean,
yes, we did.
Lots of questions. So just a couple of quick. Well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a giveaway.
Yes, let's do the giveaway.
So thanks for everybody who's stuck around and just tuned in. So Letitia, hopefully you're ready.
Yep.
I'm going to put up what the hashtag is. You probably know this, but it's hashtag love StreamYard, and I'm going to send out a StreamYard coffee mug. And I got to say, I have one of these, and it's a fantastic coffee mug. I mean, the thing that is so surprising to me is just how large this coffee mug is. I mean, it's massive. I think it's like a 16-ounce coffee mug. So instead of like the little standard one, I mean, it's much bigger. So
oh, that's big.
In it. So definitely check that one out. But put in hashtag love StreamYard, and here, just put it in the comments. We'll wait here for, let's see. Let's wait for the next 1 to 2 minutes.
Yep. You can answer any questions if you like.
Anna Maria, what tool am I using? So we're using I think we're using what? We're using wheeled names, I think. So
yeah.
Names, so you can do a couple things. Wheel of Names, random.org. I know at StreamYard we have a custom giveaway picker that I'm trying to get access to, because it's pretty awesome, because it's it basically just randomly picks off of what we're using for our platforms, but it's a StreamYard specific tool. So we're working on it. We get a lot of questions from people wanting it. So I don't know when we'll be able to get that out, but I know we're working on it. So, but that's primarily what we use. But for this one, yeah, Letitia's going to pick on her end.
Yes.
So use hashtag love StreamYard. And you just let me know, Letitia, when you're ready.
Mm-hmm. Give me one more second.
And then Darren, I know you're asking, again, I mean, if people want to work for StreamYard, I mean, we're always hiring. So do me a favor, just go to streamyard.com/contact and just message us, and, we can get our team in front, that'll just let our team know, and we can have someone reach out. So up to you, by the way, Letitia, when you get to the giveaway.
Okay. All right. It's spinning. It's spinning. Okay, so here's the name I got. T-Mod TV. Am I saying it right? T-Mod. Wait, let me go back into the comments. Yeah, T-Mod, T-M-A-D TV. He's right there. T-Mod TV.
Very cool. Awesome. So
I'm sorry if I said it wrong.
Well, no. So okay. So T-Mad TV. So do me
T-Mad.
I'm gonna need, so in order for me to get this to you, I'm gonna need you to so T-Mad TV here. Let me just tag you. Actually.
So sorry, T-Mad.
So do me a favor, T-Mad, just do me a favor, message me at that link, and I will I'll get that out. I'll have to obviously get information from you. So that's the best way to get in touch with me.
I want that coffee mug too.
We'll make sure we get these out. And by the way, I want to thank everybody for joining us. This has been an amazing episode. Just a quick reminder. I mean, next Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, youtube.com/StreamYard. So please join us. Again, I mean, this show is all about you. So I want you to bring questions, and these could be questions about my show. Like, for example, we had people come on today and they had, green screen issues around the edge with some banding. We had lighting questions. We talked headphones. We talked audio. We want to talk lighting, cameras. I mean, you just let us know. I mean, it's all about you. So bring your questions next Saturday, youtube.com/StreamYard. And just one quick point. I mean, don't forget, subscribe to the StreamYard YouTube channel. We have quite a number of shows. I need to work on doing a page out there of all of these different shows. We have so many of them. But I know, for example, we have the Town Hall. That's on Sunday nights. Let's see. We also do Daniel's Tech Talk. Let me see if I can find out who we got Tech Talk this week. Actually, yeah. So Chad Peterson's going to be for Tech Talk, that's on the 19th. So what's that? I think that's Tuesday, actually. Yeah, Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've got Tech Talk. Kelsey and Dana also do a StreamYard Spotlight every single week as well. And that's where we feature a StreamYard user. So, if you're interested in being a guest on that as well, don't worry about that. Just reach out to us. I mean, it's a casual interview. It's your opportunity to like give your elevator pitch. Hey, this is who I am. This is what I do, and so forth. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Just unbelievable. Just all the like questions and the comments and whatnot. But we will see you all next Saturday, 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That's right. Thank y'all for tuning in.